This show fucking stinks. And the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, you never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston.
Shut the fuck up!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to our humble abode, the FanDuel Thunderdome. It is Winter Wednesday, November 9th, 2022. This show starts now. Football is the topic of conversation 24/7 around here because football never stops. There's news breaking around the NFL at all times. We will cover all of that and more. There's certainly conversations to be had about what's going to happen this upcoming weekend. We'll also take a look back at the leaders, at individual position groups, now that we are officially on the Wednesday of halfway through the NFL season. Who has dominated the first half? We shall dive into that. We have Dan Orlovsky joining us in about 27 minutes. Cannot wait to chat with him. He's been subtweeting a lot of people. Can't wait to talk to him about that and how his season is going as a whole. He's called a couple NFL games. He's called some college games. He's on TV every day.
What?
How's Dan Orlovsky doing? We shall talk to him about that. Also, Michael Rubin, billionaire, CEO of Fanatics, will join us in 2 hours right here to chit-chat about everything going on with Fanatics, his life, his friends, and also maybe dabble with the Jeff Bezos, Jay-Z, going to own the Commanders alongside Matthew McConaughey conversation, because I think he is a billionaire who's friends with all the billionaires, and not just the billionaires. Seems like this guy's friends with everybody. Cannot wait to chat with him in 2 hours. His people reach out to us and said, hey, we're big fans. If you'd ever want to chat with him, he'd be cool with that. We put that in the bank for a couple of weeks and then said, did they say that he would come on the show? And we read the email back. It was like, we should get a fucking billionaire on the show. I think that's the right play to do. So he'll be joining us in a couple hours. Can't wait for that conversation. The boys are here. The Toxic Table at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. Hair is flowing today, pal.
Hey, thanks, Pat. I washed it last week for the first time in a long time, so it's still carried on into this week.
No, you did something to it today. That isn't from last week, right there, pal.
To be fair, I have kind of put it up in a bun in the morning, just in case it's a little cold out. Don't want the hair to freeze. And then I just took it out of the bun, so that might be why.
Well, you also just got a fade, clearly.
Of course. The haircut. Hey, never touch the hair, though.
Never,
Hair stays the same.
Oh, you're talking about the hair on the top.
The hair on the top, in the back. That
Not
never changes.
On the side.
Not on the side.
Yeah, you look good, man. You look good. As do you, Ty Schmidt. We heard Aaron give a motivational speech to Green Bay Packers fans through how he's going to view the rest of the season.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the Green Bay Packers this Wednesday, as opposed to previous Wednesdays after an Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, Ty?
We'll see. I mean,
a lot of reaction to Aaron Rodgers Tuesday.
Yeah, as there always is. And it is... It's kind of one of those things where I'm not going to let it take up too much of my mental bandwidth because I don't want to get myself super excited just to get to Sunday and have them look like shit again against the Cowboys and then kind of be kicking myself and saying, well, why did I get so excited? Why did I think they could have the opportunity to win? So I'll absolutely watch the game on Sunday. If they win, I'll be ecstatic. But if they don't, I'm done with
ruining your life.
Yeah, exactly. They're 3-6. They're 3-6, and they play the Cowboys, the Titans, and the Eagles in the next 3 weeks. And, 2 of those games are in 1 week. So, 3 weeks from now, if they win these next 3 games, we'll be in a much different situation. But if they lose those next three games, you're looking at 3-9, and then we're scouring. Hey, what Iowa Hawkeye do I want the Packers to draft? In the top 5 of the draft next year. So, people are going to react and be pissed at him, and he's not playing well right now, so he's going to just kind of have to take it. So it's a very, very awkward time, weird time in Packerland. But hey, we're here.
I think. I appreciate you saying that, and obviously I always enjoy getting your reaction to the Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, the old ART, after the show over there, watching you kind of take it all in on what was said. Because when you're in a conversation, you can't catch it all.
Right.
There was a couple of things I caught during the conversation. As soon as he said them, I actually started laughing on the screen, where he said, I've thrown a lot of touchdowns. I don't give a shit about what anybody on TV has to say. It's like, well, TV people now are going to take that personally.
They're going to discuss that tomorrow.
Now they're going to take that personally because you just kind of took a shot at them, which, by the way, he's allowed to because they've taken a lot of shots at fucking him over the years. A lot of people that have never been able to play quarterback anywhere near the ability that he has been able to do it have judged a lot of things that he's done on a football field. He has clearly heard them, I assume, but that's part of being a quarterback in the NFL. So him taking a shot back at him, I was like, all right, here we go. Okay, that's going to be something. And then everything else he said obviously pissed people off as well. If you win games, though, it's all good. If you don't, it's all bad.
Yep.
That's kind of what the world is of professional sports, and we're experiencing that for the first time on Aaron Rodgers Tuesday.
Yeah.
First 2 seasons, Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, he won the MVP.
Yeah.
We actually thought, wow, this is awesome. This is his dream. This is what it's supposed to be. And then now we're facing a little adversity this season for the Packers. We're facing some conversations with Aaron that he might not be incredibly comfortable to be having, especially on Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, which has been a beacon of positivity, I think, for the last couple of years.
For sure.
Except for the vaccination conversations, which,
Right, of course.
But football-wise, very positive chit-chat about what he's thinking, what he's doing, why he's doing what he's doing. We're getting a chance to tap into the most talented football thrower of all time and how he feels and why he feels the way he does every single game. That was something that ART brought to the world that I don't think sports media was appreciative enough. 10, 15 years from now, they'll look back on some of the things he said on that and be like, well, remember, Aaron, this is what he was thinking whenever this type of stuff was happening. So maybe to be appreciated. Now we're talking, it's bad football.
Yep.
There's no vax stuff.
Right.
It is just living in an adversity-riddled season right now. And if they're able to turn around and be a great story, hey, he said he bet on himself first. Me too, Aaron.
Yeah,
There's no
absolutely.
reason not to think he wouldn't come out and ball. Tevin Diggs is here, one half of the hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys. Mike Tomlin saying T.J. Watt probably back this
What?
weekend. That's good news. That means your whole entire team will be better, right? He is the type of person that on defense side of the ball can set a tone, change an entire game. But I think the offense can also feel a spark. He's defensive MVP for a reason. Put the guy in the fucking game.
I believe the most telling stat is obviously their record without T.J. Watt when he's been hurt over the years, which is not good. But also I believe they've led the league in sacks the last 4 or 5 years. And they're dead last, I believe, in sacks this year. It's probably because T.J. Watt hasn't been on the field. So he comes back, they go 7-2, make the playoffs. It's going to be an awesome fucking season.
And if they don't?
Fucking fuck me up, boys.
What? Like beat the shit out of you?
Yeah, like I'll go to the loony bin with you.
Line starts behind me.
I don't think I understand.
Wait, hold on.
I don't think fuck me up.
Well, Ty said, like, fuck him. I don't
the
care
crap?
anymore. Like, I'm ready for all the
What
pain.
the hell?
Oh, you're ready for the shit talk, the bashing.
I'm ready for the
burying.
pain.
Okay.
Okay, so like crowbars and shit.
I'll tell you what. I think it's maybe a state of the society that we're in. Whenever you're like, "Hey, fuck me up," I'm like, I think you have a mental issue. Like whenever you said, like, I was worried about what was going on.
I definitely have that.
I didn't know what. Well,
Oh, slow down.
we had that cream from Brett Favre there.
Yeah, that's right.
I drink the water. I've been on the water for years.
Russell Wilson. Do you think he
I did
funded that
order one of
business
those
to get
neck
that
things.
concussion water
Maybe.
through a welfare fund in Washington?
We
that
say
had a plug?
allegedly that Russ and 3 and 4 are.
In
Team
cahoots.
3 and Team
In
4?
cahoots.
No, I'm just saying we don't know how the water was funded.
That bullshit.
Yeah.
Agreed. We don't need to do that. We don't know how the water is funded. We did find out how the cream was funded.
Yep, and
Yeah.
a nasal spray.
And the side effects too. Tony said he did make him want to steal from every homeless person he saw.
So you think maybe the cream led
Caused
to the doesn't help with concussions.
No.
But it does help with your urge
Yes.
to rob the fucking poor people.
That's
That'll
right.
happen.
Maybe. We don't know. I mean, I don't know. Somebody might be selling those on the street somewhere. If you want to get into being the opposite of Peter Pan, being one of the worst humans of all time, go ahead and do that. That story is continuing to unravel.
Oh, yeah, and it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, because there's going to be more.
Oh, yeah.
Because they had a plug.
not
They had a plug on how to get a government fund. Hey, whatever you can do to create that we can give money to, we can do. Oh, I want a new indoor facility. Deal.
Got it.
Fuck the poor people. Hey, I want to do this cream to save concussions, and we'll lie to people about how good they are. We'll lie to people about who's also promoting it, but that won't matter anyways because we're coming from one particular fund that's going to say, yeah, we're investing in this because we're trying to make more money for the fund. So we're investing in a business of the future. Here's millions of dollars here, right here. I assume there's going to be maybe a merch company, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Let's hope no Copperfit got funded by any
Oh,
of this.
no.
I'm not saying that it would, but like the amount of things that people were probably being told, just think of ways for us to give you money from this welfare fund because we have control of it from this one person. Brett Favre is in the middle of that whole thing. We'll continue to chat about that just because of how absurd it is and how we need to. I think I've been bad with this my whole life, even when I was a kid. And speaking of me when I was a kid, we'll talk about something that my wife and I announced earlier, but even when I was a kid, the whole you need to respect the person because of the position they're in. I always struggled with it. Tim and Sally tried their fucking best to have me be respectful to people. But if they did something that even at my young age deemed to be dumb, I naturally judged them. And I wouldn't like openly say anything because I thought that would be disrespectful to my parents or anything like that. But the way I went about acting around those people was certainly vast. And it's obviously carried into my adulthood. And I got a chance to join Ryan Hawk, AJ Hawk's brother, on his leadership podcast, which was recording its 500th episode. It's very good. I got a chance to chat with him about the Steve Jobs quote about how the world that is around you that you see was built by people that are no smarter than you are. So I think we've always been told that we're supposed to respect these people that are in positions of power. And I think we should. But I think it's also very okay not to just blindly be like, this person's probably a good person because they're in a position of power. If you think about that person in 2020, the director of the welfare fund who pled guilty in 2020 alongside the director of nonprofit, which was a lady in 2000 for like 70-some million or 38 million. I forget, 38 people, 70 million, $20 million, whatever it was. It's a massive amount of money. The way they acted around people as if they were somebody, the way people talked to them and allowed them access to anything, and probably everything they said was good. That motherfucker was robbing people blind behind the scenes. I think we should always have our antennas up for bullshit no matter what the position is. And I think that'll make the world a much better place going forward. And if you're in one of those positions of power, I think you should hold it in high regard, obviously, but you're also setting an example for future generations for their trust in people in positions of power. Like this story right here is going to amplify people saying that they don't trust people or making decisions for other things. Like it's just going to get louder and louder as more of these happen. So let's all assume that in a world not too long from now, nobody will fuck anything up whenever they're in a position of power, and we're excited.
Hell yeah. Can't wait.
Bright future.
Speaking, that's what we're going to do. It's going to be great whenever that time comes. That's just happened in Mississippi. There's 50 other states, numerous other funds that are being
everywhere.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in charge of a lot of things that are probably doing shady shit. I hope we find out about it all. I hope it never happens again. Nonetheless, Brett Favre, bad guy.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Burn
Bad
his
guy.
jersey.
Joining us, good guy on the stage, host of Everything DB, the Man to Man podcast, a man who played in the NFL for a long time. At corner, nickel, and safety. Has some great plays to break down today and make us smarter. We'll be joining us, ladies and gentlemen, Darius Butler.
Yeah, Week 10 already, man.
That's good, right, for you?
Crazy. Yeah.
With your season?
I mean, it flies by. Just like when you're in the locker room playing, you play a game and then next thing you're game planning for the next one. But schedule, you're getting used to it. Kind of at the halfway point. Didn't hit the rookie wall yet.
That's good.
Feeling good.
It's because you're a vet, dude. That's why you're on here.
Goddamn right.
And the traveling that you're doing, because he does, obviously, Man to Man podcast every single...
Monday and Thursday.
I knew Thursday because he does it live from right here. It's a great show. Monday, Thursday. He does this show Wednesday, Thursday. Then he flies to Philadelphia to shoot an NFL matchup for ESPN. Then you fly home, be a great dad, hop on the road again, put it on repeat for the rest of the entire season. I appreciate your work ethic, D. But you've been doing great.
Appreciate you.
You've been doing great with it all. You've been doing great with it all. Darius, you're a great father. Got to watch you be a dad, both digitally and real life, whenever you're playing. You've handled it with such confidence and ease, and your kids love you, which I think is the telling of whether or not you're a good father. Ty, I got a chance to go to the reception of the baptism this weekend. The entire family around Sloan was amazing. I mean, it was absolutely amazing. Tone, Paisana, your baby, watching your dad hold her in the photos and seeing you literally be a different person, I think. Now, into the microphone, you're still saying the same stuff, but living for a different thing. Now, like it is, and obviously I have a lot of friends that are parents and they're great at what they do. I grew up never wanting to be a dad. That was not something I ever wanted to do. I never wanted to have a kid, mostly because I was a piece of shit as a kid. I was a tough kid to handle. I mean, I was in trouble all the time. You've heard about, fifth grade, I had a cigarette sales operation where I was, you know what I mean? Like I was just a bad kid. Energetic, talked a lot. I was out and about. I couldn't play video games. I was a lot to handle. A lot of people probably very annoyed with me as a kid. So I just kind of shaped it in my mind, like I'm just going to work forever. I'm just going to do my thing. I don't want to have a kid. Fast forward to, meeting Samantha Ludi, and then we end up getting married, Samantha McAfee. And, I do something that I never thought I was going to do, which is get married. And then I start enjoying marriage and seeing everything about it. And, Sam really changed my mindset on a lot of things. And it's cool to have a partner in life almost, which I never really wanted in the past. Never really thought of something it was going to be. I honestly assumed I was going to die alone. And I was going to be completely cool with it. I was going to be good uncles. I was going to go pop in. I was going to give big gifts. Hey, how you doing? Crying? Get the fuck away from me. I'm going to get out of here. Oh, you guys got Thanksgiving? Can I come over to Thanksgiving? Cool. I'm going to come over. I'm going to do that. I just assumed I would die alone. Sam has really changed me in a massive way with that. Obviously, we're married, going on 3 years. I mean, Jesus, we're already 2 years.
Wow. COVID counts for like 3 years in a long, so.
10, 15, you mean. Yeah. Yeah. But nonetheless, we're married. I'm enjoying it. And Sam has always dreamt of being a mother. So whenever, Sam and I start talking about our future, just listening to her passion and listening to the way she goes about doing everything, whether it's holidays around the house, the way she treats our animals and our pets, and the way she treats people and like her friends' kids, it's like, oh, this woman would be an incredible mother. Like this woman is going to be a great mom. Like she cares, she's invested, she loves doing all the like corny stuff that parents do. She tries to do it for our animals now. It's like this lady wants to be a mom, was potentially her greatest gift is going to be a mom. So after I started realizing that and talking to her, I was like, all right, let's have a kid. So Sam and I, we attempt to have a kid. We get pregnant. First, like literally within the first like couple weeks of trying, and she goes through an ectopic pregnancy, which I did not know what it was. I looked into it. It caused an emergency surgery in which she had internal bleeding. Doctor told me she might die from the bleed. So we go from her being pregnant, passing, having a positive on a pregnancy test, like first time doing it. Okay, my life has changed. I'm going to be a dad. Never expected to be a dad. I'm going to be a dad. And then all of a sudden, we're in the hospital the night the Browns take on the Browns take on the Ravens, and Lamar Jackson has the poop game.
Yep.
So I'm in the hospital while Sam's going through like a 45-minute surgery. While she goes in for that surgery, I'm told like internal bleeding. We don't know how bad it's going to be, but we should be good. But there is obviously a chance or whatever. I'm like, my wife's going to fucking die. Like, that's insane. So she obviously survives through that surgery, devastated that she's not going to be a mom now, right? Starts blaming herself. So then we have to go through an entire recovery period, not only for her body from the surgery, but also from her being so incredibly upset and let down by herself that she wasn't able to just do what everybody else seemingly is able to do. So that led to me and Sam looking into like stats and how normal it is for people to have miscarriages and ectopic pregnancies. And it's not really talked about much, but it is a alarmingly high percent of pregnancies end up not being successful. And I think that is something that women are embarrassed to share that they go through it, so don't really hear as much about it or whatever. And a lot of people in high school are like, oh, it's easy to get somebody pregnant, so you're like scared into doing it. But I don't think anybody realizes the alarmingly high amount of times that it does not work out, and it is devastating. I mean, absolutely devastating to my wife, Samantha, and to a lot of moms out there that are dreaming of it. So it took us a little bit to get past that, I think both physically, mentally, emotionally, and everything. So we try to get pregnant again. We get pregnant again immediately. It happens. Here we go. We're happy. We have the entire like, hey, you're going to be a dad video Sam made. Like it was really cool. Like we were doing the whole thing. Again, emergency surgery, ectopic pregnancy, her fallopian tubes, internal bleeding. That was when Michigan beat Ohio State in Michigan. I'm in the hospital that day. Same exact situation. So I have a lot more questions for the doctor this time. I'm like, how do we get to the point where she's going to maybe die again? Like, are we not looking at this? And there's obviously a lot more that goes into it, but that was an incredibly emotional day there. Sam survives, gets through it, obviously. Bad surgery's tough. I mean, they're cutting in. It is a full thing, very intrusive. Immediately again now, Sam feels terrible about herself. She's disappointed herself. She's let herself down. She thinks that she's not strong enough to be a mom. And all these things are things that I'm trying to combat her with. Like, no, Sam, this is out of your control completely. Like, there's nothing you can do. You can't control what's happening inside of you. She doesn't see it that way, though. So I'm trying my best to be like, Sam, we were able to get pregnant. You're okay. She loses her second fallopian tube, right? So in theory, if you just go by the natural thing, her 2 surgeries that had to happen, life-saving surgeries that happened, take away the natural ability to have a child. So immediately after the surgery is done, we're told like, hey, IVF seems like the perfect thing for you guys because our egg and our sperm have met and made a baby every single time. Just for whatever reason, it hadn't been able to get into, the incubator to really start cooking. So we started looking into IVF, but it took us a little bit to want to do that because of how emotionally draining everything was. Sam is a fucking badass. Sam has battled not only physically, but mentally, emotionally. She's had to go through a bunch. So we start the IVF process back in July. It involves a shot every single night that I'm administering to her. She's getting multiple shots for the first few weeks a day, like 3 shots a day for the first few weeks. I'm giving her a shot every single night to add to this oil and this hormone that's happening. We're going in. She's giving blood every single week, or maybe even twice a week she has to go in and give blood. We're getting ultrasounds that are very uncomfortable. We're doing this whole thing. It's a whole process. She's taking pills. She's got all these things. It's like a human science experiment. We're going through the fucking database that they have. We have to go through and read and learn about every single part of the entire thing. So I feel like I'm pretty educated on the entire pregnancy thing through it all. Mm-hmm. But my wife has had to take needles and give blood, and the amount of conversations and uncomfortable conversations that she's had to have every single day, all in hopes of getting pregnant. Not even that it's going to happen. She's putting herself through hell in hopes of getting pregnant. We get pregnant. We think it's going to go good. But we didn't want to tell anybody because we didn't want to put the unwarranted pressure on people to not only be happy for us, but also then if it doesn't work out, because we have been scarred a little bit the first 2 times, we don't want anybody to feel bad and do the whole thing. So we have completed the first trimester. The baby looks incredibly safe. We do not know the sex, although we could have known the sex through the IVF process. We chose not to. We'll find that out in a few weeks. And I just want to tell my wife how incredibly proud I am of her. She has been a badass through this. Her persistence and resilience has been something that is nothing short of inspiring. She has been through a lot of pain. She has a lot of scars, both physically and emotionally from this whole process. And I can't wait to see you be a mom. You're going to be the fucking best mom on earth. And I appreciate you so much. And thank you to everybody in our universe for being very supportive through this all. Obviously, our family and friends knew before we made the public announcement. And the boys, I can just speak, getting to watch you guys become dads and getting a chance to chat with you guys about it and the things that you guys, because there's been some tough mornings where I've come in here and it's like, this has been tough. This has been a lot. You guys have not only kept me positive and motivated, but also have kept hope for what it's going to be like whenever we're going to be parents. So I appreciate you all so much. To my family, thank you so much. D-Butt even gave me a couple motivational speeches about being a dad a few times whenever he would travel in here. So I appreciate everybody. Sam's family, Sam's friends have been very supportive, and all the love we were shown on the internet, we're very thankful for. But I'm scared to fucking death. I had no idea it was going to happen. I hope I'll be a good dad. And thank you, everybody, for the love, honestly. With that being said, Sam, you're a badass, all right?
Yeah.
Congrats to you both.
It was a lot, though. That's crazy. You walk into the hospital, and it's like, we're pregnant, we're happy. Sam's having a little pain, discomfort or whatever.
Yeah.
Should we go to the hospital? Is this just, she's pregnant? Is there going to be discomfort? Is it pain? Are you going to be in pain whenever you're pregnant? Is something going to go on? Go into the hospital, and then we get there and they're like, oh, we need to do emergency surgery right now, internal bleeding. We don't need to bleed anymore. You might die or whatever. It's like, this is terrible. What? So then whenever Sam wanted to do it again, I was like, are we sure we want to, do this again? And Sam, being a mom, I think is something that a lot of women, I'm not saying every woman, because I've seen people that have bad moms that exists out there. And I think we need to remember that whenever we hear stories about somebody, oh, they did this to their mom. It's like, well, let's ask what mom did too. Because there is some people that have bad family members. A majority though, let's assume there's a majority of great moms out there. I think naturally want to be mom, yearn to be a mom. I think it's in there. But also I feel like can prove to be great moms, and I think Sam had all those. I think Sam wanted to be, I think she yearned to be, and I think she wants to be an incredible mom. So I'm happy we got back in there. I'm happy IVF existed. Big shout out to Dr. O'Leary. She was the doctor through it all through the IVF. She's a badass, former Air Force grad, I think.
Damn.
Yeah, I think she's bad. She's been really cool. She's been a support system for Sam, who sends a text, because every once in a while we'll just wake up and I can't feel, so I have no. and she'll be like, "Oh, I'm having a little," and our automatic reaction is like,
Yeah, something's wrong.
shit.
"Oh no, oh no, oh no." So then she'll text Dr. O'Leary, and she'll get a text back from Dr. O'Leary like, "Oh, that's gas," and I'm like, "Oh, this is what I feel, Sam. You just got to go shit your pants right now, Sam? Is that what you got to do?" She goes, "Stop, I don't do that." I'm like, "That sounds like you." Just, it sounds like you just, and it becomes obviously I'm not supposed to be the guy that is in those situations, but it's been a fun process. It's been a grueling, I think, for Sam. She's been 150 shots. She's
Damn.
150.
That's a lot.
I've become pretty good though. I will say.
Syringe.
At the drawing, switching the needle, putting the other needle in, antibacterial wipe, putting it in there like you're throwing a dart.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like it's supposed to go in there like it's a dart, and then the clean, and then also the conversation with the wife as she's crying because I'm stabbing her every single night. That is a tough thing for a relationship to go through because she would be like nauseous and sick because she's pregnant. So I'd come home, I make a sound, it's making her feel even worse. It's like my presence is not good here. So then I know an hour from now I'm gonna have to give her a shot too. I'm like, oh. So I'm just gonna stand here and I'm just gonna try not to fuck anything up right now. I'm just gonna be quiet. So then I gotta give her a shot and she's sleeping because she's tired or whatever. So I have to wake her up. I'm like, hey, I gotta give you a shot. That's not the best news, right?
Yeah,
That's not the best news to wake up to. So like then I wake her up, get her ice bag. She puts it on there and she hates needles, obviously. So like she has had to face her fear here, like dive into a pit of needles basically. And then every single time it's painful. And then you hear your wife who you love go, like agony almost. And it's like, this is tough. This is very difficult, but we're incredibly lucky that it worked for now. Hopefully we'll be able to continue this whole thing, and hopefully I won't be the worst father of all time. That's what we're planning on. Dahmer's dad up there at number one.
Yeah.
I think Hitler probably up there. I think Fogel's dad didn't do great either. I mean, there's a long list that we could go through, I guess. I'm just hoping not to be that. And hopefully little, whatever the name is.
Here we go.
A lot of conversations on this particular program about what I'm going to name the kid.
A lot of possibilities.
Turns out I don't have a lot of decision making. Yeah, I've learned that over the last couple of weeks.
49%.
Yeah. 2 people have votes. I have 49% of the vote. That's a huge percentage.
Massive.
But when the other person, you do the math here, has 51%, it's like, oh, that's a little bit more.
That's the majority.
That seems like that's going to be the winning vote. But I think we'll come do it together, and I'm incredibly proud of Sam. I can't wait to be a dad. But I am scared to death. But anyways, let's move on. Let's talk about some other stuff going on in the world. D-Butt, the NFL season makes no sense. 7 out of 8 of the divisions, okay? 7 out of the 8 of the divisions have a team that is within 3 games of leading the division. The only one that isn't is the NFC North, and that's because the Vikings are so far ahead of everybody else, and everybody else kind of stinks. Anybody can make it at the end of the game, at the end of the season. Are we still sure that there's only like 4 or 5 teams? In the Josh Allen news, that his elbow is sprained, which I think a sprain is a partial tear.
Yes.
I don't know the actual medical, but I think they classify a sprain as a partial tear of the ligament. So he has a partial tear of the UCL on the inside of his elbow. He didn't tear it, so he's not out completely. Doesn't need Tommy John. That can recover. Does that change your thoughts on any of the teams that are going to make it, or do you still think there's like 4 or 5 teams that are going to be able to go?
I still think it's 4 or 5 teams right now that's kind of have separated themselves this far. But like you said, it's a long season left. And this first half didn't make much sense. We can assume that the second half will have just as much drama. But obviously this injury to Josh Allen is huge. Obviously, it's his throwing arm. He's throwing, but he runs a lot. He's pretty much their run game for a large majority of it at least. So that's big for the Bills, especially in that division when everybody's over 500. The Patriots at the bottom at 5-4. So, good defenses. They're 0-2 right now in the division. So that's a huge question mark.
I think so too, and I think
is it his throwing arm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not good. Now he is a guy, and we talked about this yesterday, who just do what Malik Willis is doing in Tennessee. Now, I don't think they'll do that to Josh Allen because they're paying him a couple $100 million, and he's got an absolute rocket. But the sprain, maybe they rest him the next few. They got Vikings coming up, which is a big game, and then they got, I think, the Lions
and the Bears.
And the Bears after that. No offense to either of those teams, but I think that Buffalo Bills team is good. You could technically get him like a 3-week rehab rest before divisional games end up towards the end of it. I'll be excited to see what the Buffalo Bills do. Joining us now is a man who I don't know if he's ever had any UCL issues, but I do know he's on ESPN all day, every day.
That's right.
It's called NFL Games this year. It's called College Games this year. Has been on Get Up, First Take, Keyshawn, J. Will.
And Max.
and Max.
Formerly Zubin.
He's been on everything because this is football season. Former teammate of Darius Butler at UConn, who might be back. UConn might be back.
Might be back.
And maybe offense coordinator for Colts. That's what the internet told me.
Go. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah, Dano!
What's up, dude?
What's up, boys? How we doing?
Hey, life is good. How are you, man? I can't believe we got a chance to get you on the show and that you're not already on TV right now. You know, you're on TV all day, every day during the football season. How are you doing? You good?
I'm great, man. A couple more weeks of pandemonium, but all is good, dude. All is good.
You've been sending some subtweets at a lot of people, hasn't he?
Yeah, what's going on,
Dan,
man?
you've been doing a lot of sub. Did you just learn of subtweeting, or what is going on? You just want to let people know that you know, or how's this all happening? You know what I mean?
I get really frustrated by that, and it's a little childish by me to send a subtweet, no doubt about it. But I'm just going to give you an honest answer here. It takes a lot of hard work to figure that stuff out and find it. And then when you do it on TV and or the internet, and then someone basically takes it and kind of redistributes it as their own thing, it candidly pisses me off. So
Yeah, Dan, it happens to us like I think every day, but I do understand why you could get mad about it. I appreciate that you got mad about it, but you have become a subtweeter. Remember, people thinking that we're friends or something like that.
Yeah,
we ain't like that.
After that.
Yeah, what's that?
I had to shoot him a text.
Me too.
Hey,
We good? Is everything okay? Dan, I just want to let you know, Dan, we all love you, bub. And all these people that are stealing you, everybody knows. Yeah. And all these people that are talking bad about you, fucking everybody knows who you are. You're fucking Dan Orlovsky, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, keep it going, Dane.
Slow down, Dan. Fuck them.
Come on, Dane.
well, I never have a problem with you or D, but North Tire, Boston.
Oh, nice.
North
fuck?
Zito.
Damn, Tone.
Boys are all good.
Nice.
But before all that, congratulations, bud. I know we talked this morning, but congratulations publicly. Phenomenal news for you.
Thank you, man. I've seen you be a great dad. You know, I'm scared to death. Hopefully I'll be able to figure it out. My wife's
You'll
a
crush
badass.
it,
Hey, you.
You and the missus will crush it. My wife actually texted me after we hung up. She was like, McAfees are having a kid, so she even knew.
Yeah, with a lot of response on the internet. Big thanks to everybody for being nice. Big thanks to you for reaching out. I assume I'll be calling and asking for advice. You got, what, 10 kids over there?
I think so. It feels like that at times.
Yeah.
Certainly, like time-wise and cost. So.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to have one spoiled brat.
Spoiled brat,
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, going to have a work ethic, though. Let's not get crazy. It is a McAfee, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, going to have a work ethic. Going to have to. But we'll live the finer life, which kind of worries me. Kind of scares me a little. Let's get into football. Dan, Josh Allen, UCL. It is a sprain, not a tear. I think a sprain is a partial tear, but it's not a full tear, so I don't think Tommy John is needed. How do you think the Buffalo Bills are going to move on with this? And what do you think this means for Josh Allen's future? They have the Vikings this week, then they got the Lions and Bears, and then after the Bears, they have their divisional play to kind of close out the season that is going to be very important. You think they rest him? Do you think that's going to be the play? What do you think they do with Josh Allen, Dan?
Yeah, so I think they rest them because they have a good enough football team, as long as they get a little healthier on the defensive side, to like sustain, right, for a couple weeks to see if Case Keenum can step in and play a little bit. You know, we had Stephania Bell on yesterday on Live when this was kind of becoming a little bit more of a story and they were waiting on the news, and kind of something she said to me, or two things she said to me kind of like stuck out. Because I asked her, I was like, well, how does Josh then throw a 70-yard ball at the end of the game? And she had mentioned, well, it's not like a pain tolerance thing. It is a correct. He's got an absolute howitzer, but like it's not this hurts too much to do. Is Josh going to be able to do that 3 weeks from now? Because she mentioned it's a rep thing.
Yeah.
So like, how do they handle the practice of him? Is he one of those guys that doesn't need to practice and can go play? You know, so as for an organization that obviously went all in this year with the people that they put on their team and realizing and believing they're going to play into January, I sit there and go, is it worth? Because he's already had a UCL injury to that same elbow, to my knowledge.
2 years
right?
ago, I think? 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, I thought she had mentioned 18, but you know, however long ago, it's, you know, I know Carson had it at the end of his career, so I just sit there and go, for a guy that's a marquee part of his game. The only reservation I have is they've scored 25 touchdowns this year, Buffalo. Josh has accounted for 23 of them. So, I mean, when we say he's everything to them, he is literally everything to them. So, It's a tough spot for them to be in right now, but they got to think long term.
I guess McDermott said we'll see he's day to day, and Josh said he's confident that he'll play. But is that the right move? Do you get him? Do you take some time here to try to get that thing as healed up as possible for when football actually matters? I mean, Mike Garafolo was reporting what Sean McDermott says. I don't know. I'll be interested to see how they balance it because they have a good roster. They have a great team. They have an incredible run game. Can you win games by doing that? And can you get to a point where you make it in the playoffs and are able to go on a run? We shall see. Speaking of making it in the playoffs and going on a run, the Indianapolis coach, Jim Irsay, after his press conference, called Bob Kravitz and Mike Chappell and basically told them, we ain't taking. We're 9-7-1, get you in the dance this year is what he said. He thinks Jeff Saturday is going to help the offensive line, which is in turn going to help the offense. The defense has been good. Jeff Saturday's hire has obviously brought a lot of attention to the Indianapolis Colts in a negative fashion, but allegedly through Bob Kravitz and Chappell, Jim Irsay said, we're still trying to make it. Are you going to be the offensive coordinator? Because I saw they hired a guy who's 30 years old who seems to be, a stud. I mean, Jeff Saturday wouldn't pick some bum to call plays. This guy's probably going to be a stud. But I've seen a lot of articles saying Dan Orlovsky was going to join the crew. And do you think Jeff Saturday can make that team a playoff team? And if he does, he gets a job forever, right? Or at least a job forever, I assume.
Yeah, so I know, one, I'm not going to be the offensive coordinator for the Colts this year. No.
What?
Come on.
I read on the internet.
Come on, dude. Come on.
Dono. Oh, not this year. Not this year.
Not this year, bub.
It's a breeding ground for the coaching staff.
No, that's him using leverage right there, saying not this year. So in the offseason, he can just tell you.
Best friend.
Dang, you've had like a Tom Brady style glow up.
And what do you have a stomach protector on? Do you have a stomach protector on right here? Or?
No, that was the that's the infamous game winner, dude. That's the
ball. That's the ball. Oh, okay.
Respect. Okay, hell of a win. Hell of a win. And you do look much better now than you did then, but he had to be built for battle. Then he was getting hit a lot for us. I don't know about everywhere else. He was getting hit a lot with us though. I don't know.
Love Saturday then.
Anyway, so you're gonna.
My wife was pregnant. Dude.
Yeah.
That was a tough look right there. Oof.
Yeah, you won us games though. You almost lost us luck. You won us games.
Yo, honestly, when I see pictures of myself, I go to my wife and I go, what? Like, why did you ever choose to sleep with me willingly?
Dan, don't be that harsh.
Come on, dude. Cannon, that's why.
Dan?
Kidding me?
That's a tough presentation.
Throw a 7-yard slant better than anybody in the New England region. What are you talking about, Dan?
What is your problem, Connor?
It's true.
What's your problem?
King of Yukon, D-Bud has told me about when he got on campus.
I don't go to
Dan
Yukon
was.
if there's no Dan Orlovsky.
Boom.
And that's the truth, damn it.
Boom.
It's not because of how you looked, but you didn't look terrible. But nonetheless, you're going to be offense coordinator next year for the Colts if Jeff Saturday's the guy, or what?
I have no idea, dude. I have no idea.
Dan, they wrote 15 articles. You had to have said something.
They want you.
Now you're all shy. What are we? You didn't say that you were.
No, dude. I said this yesterday, Pat. Like Jeff and I have had so many I've never had conversations with this with people. At least as I've been in this profession over the last 4 or 5 years, and every week I would see Jeff on Monday afternoons in the green room, and I'd walk in and immediately we'd have these conversations of what was going on in the NFL. Like, dude, did you see this team? And my goodness, how bad was this stuff that they did? Or why the heck did they do this? Or what do you think's the problem with this team and all that stuff? So we had all these conversations, and we would talk about the philosophy of how teams were doing stuff and what they were doing well and what they weren't doing well. And we've always talked, Jeff and I would have these conversations of, where are you on coaching? Would you ever get into coaching? Do you want to coach now? Do you want to coach in the future? And I'm just assuming that these are just conversations we're having. And then the news breaks and, I put 2 and 2 together and I'm like, that's kind of partly what Jeff was experiencing, maybe not, because I know he's just said Irsay just called him this past weekend, but
preparing for.
What's that?
Maybe he was preparing for. You're saying?
Yeah. So I don't know. I the more I get away from football as a player, the closer I want to get back into coaching, so to speak. The more I miss that. But like I said, I like what I'm doing right now, but I have no clue what the future holds. It has to be a good situation.
Good leverage. Remember the guy that sent a bunch of emails to somebody? He used to do this every single offseason to ESPN. He was going to be the next head coach at this place, and then boom, signs an extension worth $100 million with ESPN. And then the next offseason, I'm going to be the head coach of this. Boom, another extension with another signing bonus. This is a good play out of you, Dan. Hey, can't wait to see what coaching role you take in the offseason.
Hell yeah. Here you go, Dan.
Or on ESPN, or on ESPN. Do you think Jeff Saturday has any chance to turn that thing around? He does not know the offense. I don't think he knows a lot of the people there. He said, I'm drinking from my fire hydrant. And he also said, I asked Jim, why am I a candidate for this job? Do you think he has any chance of success or set up for success at all? And what do you expect from him this year?
I think the only chance that he has is that they fully embrace going like the Baltimore Ravens style of offense, where they use Ellinger the same way that Baltimore uses Lamar. Hey, we're going to go 80% running the football, and we're playing 11 on 11. If they were going to continue to play the style of offense that they have, then Matt Ryan should be the starting quarterback. And their offensive line has been so poor, and Jonathan hasn't been healthy. It's unless they go into that style and try to play 11 on 11 as much as possible, I don't see it this year. I also think that Mr. Irsay's got to be sitting back going, dude, I need my quarterback. I have no shot in this conference. He's done the plug and play, good roster plug and play, and hasn't worked for 3 years. So I'm not sitting here saying they're not going to try to win. No.
Last year it didn't. That's crazy.
Whoa.
It didn't with Phillip.
No, Phillip won a
got to the
playoff game.
Yeah, but
last year it didn't work though.
Yeah,
right?
Dan
You think so?
Well, I don't think Irsay's just trying to get to the playoffs, right? Don't you believe that he wants to change?
No, I agree. Yeah, Phil Rivers, let's count it as a fail. He got to the playoffs, but let's count it as a fail. He retired. Couldn't talk to him on a mega cast because of the I love Phil Rivers.
Miss you, Phil.
You were saying last year it didn't work? Why it didn't work last year? Why didn't the plug and play with the quarterback position didn't work last year?
Because they got whooped at the line of scrimmage week 17, week 18, and the quarterback didn't play well.
Okay. There it is.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah. I'm taking it on the shins from people that listen to what you say about Carson Wentz and are like, oh, the quarterback authority on ESPN told me that Carson's on blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, did you watch the games? Are you watching Dan Orlovsky or are you watching the games? I think Carson Wentz, is he done? Is he done, you think? Because you said at the end of his career, you said earlier with the UCL thing, you think he's done?
I think it's tough to sit there and say that he's right now an unquestioned starter anywhere.
All right. I would like to let everybody know that was Dan that said that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so when you show up in my mentions and you're attacking me with this guy's words, I'm going to use that clip and I'm going to say, did you fucking hear him say this? That's what I'm going to say back because it is a real thing. You've been a big Carson Wentz advocate for a long time. Carson Wentz comes to Indianapolis. He plays great football. Then he plays some football that isn't fantastic. They don't get to the playoffs. Jim Irsay decides to move on. Let's get another. He goes to the Commanders. He goes down. Taylor Heineke starts winning games. I mean, it's like a whole different thing. Now, it hasn't worked here, so I don't think Carson Wentz was to blame here. Obviously, as we're all seeing it all kind of pan out, it is not his. But I don't think he's winning a Super Bowl for anybody going forward, which is all we're really looking for. And if you talk to Jim Irsay, that's what Jim Irsay wants too. We don't tank around here for anybody. He said he'll get a quarterback in the draft if one's there, but he's looking at Sam Ellinger right now making some big league throws. His exact quote to Kravitz. Darius has a question for you.
I will say this.
Go ahead.
Just on the whole philosophy of we want a quarterback. I think this year's college class is talented. If I was a team and I knew I stunk, candidly, I'd wait till the year after. I think the kid from North Carolina is going to be the number 1 pick, and I think the kid from USC is going to be the number 2 pick, and I think they're both better than anybody in this class.
You got Caleb up there? You got Caleb as NFL prospect?
Oh, I think he's a stud.
Yeah?
The kid from North Carolina is a freaking
Drake is unbelievable. He has 400 and some yards rushing, too. I think he has...
he's a stud.
He should be the Heisman.
He has 6 rushing
touchdowns. He's got Josh Allen traits.
Yeah, and he's young. He's a young guy over there. And Mac Brown, good coach. Mac Brown creates NFLers, so I think he's got a lot of people in there. I think we're going to try to get that Drake kid on this show at some point during the season. I think
Drake May.
He's
the North Carolina people have reached out to us to say, hey, we go on there. So you're saying next year there isn't a young guy. You're saying CJ, Bryce, who else? Will Levis?
I think Bryce Young.
Van Dyke's
Bryce
out.
Young is.
They benched him. Yeah, down there at Miami. He was supposed to be top 5 guy. He got benched. He got benched.
Bryce is crazy. Bryce is crazy talented, and he's so good. But you got to be okay. He's not big, man. Like I'm using that phrasing strategically. He's little. Like Bryce is little.
Whoa.
Man. Like little.
Yeah.
Little, and that's got to be a thing for you. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it is. But
I've heard great things about
you want him to play
CJ.
faster.
I've heard great
CJ
things.
Stroud's pretty talented. I haven't had an Ohio State game this year yet, so I don't know.
I've heard he.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard about CJ. Yeah, like not only is he an incredibly hard worker, you've seen him use his money that he's gotten NIL deals for his teammates. He seems to be a great leader. Seems like everybody likes him. He wins a lot. But I've been told by people that he just recall.
Honestly, any quarterback that goes to Ohio State, I think, is going to be set up for tremendous success in the NFL because Ryan Day, I think, is the best offensive mind in football, college football up there with Lincoln and Sark, but they're studs.
Anyways, can't wait to see Hendon Hooker as an Indianapolis Colt next year. Darius has a question for you, Dano.
Hey, Dan, obviously a lot of news, a lot of talk about the Jeff Saturday hire, but I think even more of a challenge this weekend especially is going to be on Parks Frazier. You know, putting together, obviously he has some experience, help putting together a game plan, but what's that process going to be like for him this week with a young quarterback actually putting together a game plan and calling plays this upcoming weekend?
Yeah, so I think you guys have heard me say there's a massive difference between game planning and calling plays. You know, game planning is scientific in many ways. Like you study the tape, this is what they run, these plays should work against that, and it's repeatable, like it's observable. So that's really, I think game planning is easy. Calling plays is like it's a storytelling, it's an art, it is a feel, you know, and it's a, like you have to see things before they happen, so to speak. So I think that's like the biggest challenge for him. I don't know how many guys were options in Indy, like how many guys know the lingo.
Facts, yeah.
And you know, I thought maybe Matt Ryan would be a guy calling.
Oh yeah, hey, that's literally our first thoughts, and then we got laughed out of a combo.
I've actually been in this situation before. I think in like 2014, we were going 14 or 15. I was in Detroit. They fired our offensive coordinator mid-season, right before we were going to London, and they gave Jim Bob Cooter the play calling role.
Oh yeah,
like JBC, Jim Bob Cooter. Lucky son. And it was like we were on the road in London actually, and maybe this was 17. Whatever.
You guys did well,
and
didn't you?
Remember, what's up?
Didn't you do well? I remember you guys did well, didn't you, when JBC came in there?
As like that last final 8 weeks went on, yes, our first game we got absolutely slaughtered by Kansas City, like 45-14 or something, or 44-10.
There is precedent.
Yeah, so I just think like I just you know, like I would imagine it's going to be very predictable because you're going to sit there. He's never been in those moments before, and like you might have but you know this, Pat. You might have 5 3rd and 4 calls, and you might have 5 3rd and 4s in the first quarter, and then all of a sudden, what do you do on 3rd and 4 and 4, like third quarter type thing, you know? So
whatever worked.
But then that's predictable. So like,
well, then there's Darius sitting on the other side, and I was like, oh, they did this in the first fucking quarter. Yeah. Not even like 2 weeks ago. This was in the first quarter.
I just think that's it'll be. But again, they might have packages.
What's that?
For Sam, that they implement that becomes that 11-on-11 zone read RPO based offense.
Defense has not been terrible.
No,
defense has not been terrible.
They held up their end of the bargain for sure. I actually want more too, Dan. I know you make some big statements, obviously on the network, but who right now? I got my guy down in Miami. I think he's probably the best play caller right now, at least this year, Mike McDaniels. But in your opinion, who's dialing it up the best right now around the league?
Mike McDaniel, I would put at the very top of the list for sure. I'd say Shane Waldron in Seattle. Got to be up into that.
Hey, did you hear about this? They're using a call sheet because Gino's okay with it and Russell wasn't, or a wristband this year. And Shane Waldo said that it's making things run much more smooth in his eyes, or something like that. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did not hear that, but you know, obviously the play call gets in a lot quicker. You're breaking the huddle, it gives you time at the line of scrimmage. Your tempo in and out of the huddle is really good. I think they're the best offense right now outside of maybe San Fran of making everything look the same. You know, like I'm going to do a thing on live today. I'm going to do a thing on live today where, you know, like against Arizona this past week, they came out and D Butter really appreciate this because he's a full-go nerd, kind of like me. Like they came out and they went fake outside zone bootleg keeper on the first play of the game, and then the next time they presented that same look, they handed the outside zone off in the first half. So they went throw to run.
As opposed.
And then the second half, the first play, they go similar, like set, and they run the outside zone. So then that's flipped. And then the very next time they get to that set, they run the keeper game out of it. So,
sorry, you're going to do that on live, you said?
Yeah.
That shit.
Darius already had it. We already had it in. We're doing it third hour.
Dan, you
Don't
son of a
steal
bitch.
my shit, Dan.
Son of a bitch.
Third hour. That's
That'll be like
an hour before.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go back to the drawing board, Dan. Sorry about it.
Sorry.
Can't read it.
Oh yeah, great minds, I guess.
Same notes.
Great minds think alike.
Great
man.
minds.
Thank you, Con.
But you had it first, so
Man.
you're a thief if you do
You
it
can
on
only
NFL
throw
Live.
D-Butt. You could have played quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
No, I think he could have. By the way, he probably
Played
could
in
have.
High school. That was good enough.
We're not doing it. You can do it. We'll actually do something different.
Yeah.
So just so it doesn't appear as if you stole from us, because we don't want you, especially after that tweet you put.
Well, that's the thing. You could copy and paste his tweet and put it out yourself then, because he would be stealing from D-Buck.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. We don't need to put our guy Dan into the position where he would look like a hypocrite, because
True.
we
Okay.
were planning on doing that exact thing.
We can switch up. We got time.
Yeah, exactly. We'll be able to draw something up at the commercial
On the
break.
fly.
Yeah, because you were like, man, the throw the first time. Normally it's a run the first time.
Yeah, they don't usually do that.
And then the next time it was the run.
Watch
this time.
this.
They always keep you on your heels.
I don't know if you're being serious or not. Like, are we being
That's our whole
serious?
show.
Yeah, what are you talking
That's our
about?
whole show, Dad. That's our whole show.
Wait, D-Butt, are you for real?
Hey, tune it. Went 3 or 3
o'clock.
o'clock.
Find out.
Maybe D-Buck can give us his
That's
candy
awesome.
rankings.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
we talk about Reese's peanut butters and everything like that. But nonetheless, we won't do it, so you can do it on NFL Live.
You guys do it. You guys do it.
No. The world needs to see it from
A
your
lot of
end,
plays,
too.
a lot of games out there. I go to Dolphins.
Yeah, we'll figure something
skip
else
that
out,
one.
man. It's all right. Anyways, how about Ken Dorsey, dude? You like him? What about Andy Reid? He's always going to be fantastic. You like those guys? You think they're just all kind of in an upper tier up there?
Andy's great, obviously. Dorsey's been awesome. I like the way that Dorsey's used their fullback a little bit. I actually thought the Jets defensively were great against Dorsey. I think what Kellen's done since Dak has been back with like the personnel flexibility has been really cool. And the way they've used their tight ends and CD, CD was lining up in the backfield a little bit for a stretch. So I kind of like that. Arthur Smith. Oh, God bless Arthur Smith. Been a freaky stuff, man.
Bears, right? All right. Well,
So
maybe,
there's a group that's still really good.
but we've been told that you will not join that group this year, though. Maybe next if Jeff's
we
able to
go.
figure it out. A couple of the boys have some questions for you. Is that all right, Dan?
Yes, sir.
Boston Connor and Manny, you said it was okay, as opposed to Tone Diggs, who you said to fuck off to. Connor, your question for Dan Orlovsky.
Yeah, very nice, Dan. And I assume you left this name off your list because you're going to give him his praise later on. But why is Matt Patricia probably the offensive coordinator of the year? And why do you think that people are right when they blame Mac Jones for the Patriots' struggles?
Do you want to rephrase that? Or
No.
No.
Would you like to
Yeah,
rephrase
you
that?
want- you
Would
want
you
to
like to
challenge it?
rephrase it, Dan? Is that something that sounds like you would like to rephrase?
I mean, their head coach came out and said that the middle linebacker of the other team seemed to know the plays.
Yeah,
not
he
good.
did.
That's
Hey,
not good.
still got the job done and got the win. So who cares? Maybe that was part of
Yeah.
the plan.
Not always pretty.
MIT.
So, like, I think
Damn
the
right.
Patriots' offense
Biblical.
is wildly predictable. Do I think that – so here's my issue with Patriots fans right now. Like, I posted a clip yesterday where the spacing on their offense stunk. And
Oh, so did we.
Yeah.
What time did you post that? What time?
I don't remember.
Oh, no. You better be early in the morning because we come on at noon, dude. We did as well. We just none
It
of
was
us.
before noon.
Okay. You stole from me. We apologize.
It was before
Are
noon.
you sure?
All right. No worries. Let's go back to the Patriots. All right.
It was before noon.
Yeah, maybe.
Check it.
I don't know if you're ever being serious or not.
What's that, dude? Come on, man. Let's talk about the Patriots. I just don't want to be. I don't want you to be.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing with Patriots fans right now. Like, yes, Mac Jones has regressed, but Patriots fans seem to think that Mac Jones has regressed because, like, by himself, just this solo I've regressed mission, and they don't believe that there's anything to attribute to that. The play calling is not good. It is not creative. It is relatively predictable. The spacing on offense is bad.
What?
The timing on the offense is so bad.
What?
So it's like you want to tell me that the quarterback that was a pretty darn good player last year and that the head coach all offseason raved about has regressed, and it has nothing to do with the fact that our offensive line cannot drop back pass protect and the play caller is a defensive coach.
Whoa.
That's not the reality for Patriots fans?
Well, I do know that old Cuzzy Guard got benched 2 times already this season.
Yeah, back-to-back games.
What's his name?
Cole Strange.
Is that
Wait, what?
Cole Strange's been benched twice. Yeah, remember? He's been talking about how good he is and everything like that.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, Hall of Famer. This guy's
Still is.
unbelievable. He's been benched the last 2 games. Get him off the field. Guy can't protect anybody.
I'd rather him go the route of Cole Strange than, say, Quentin Nelson. Yeah, I'd rather him be where he's at right now.
Jesus.
Just throwing that out there.
There's no reason, Dan, those eyes were warranted. There's no reason for him to do what he just did. Quentin Nelson was doing nothing. He's just hanging out with his new coach right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, look, I can say that. Dan's the one up here saying Patricia is a big, fat, dumb defensive coach. I don't know why he's throwing that out there.
He's just saying there's something to think about. Dan, that's what you're thinking? It's something to think about. At least these should be warranted in the conversation whenever we're talking about max regression is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, how many? Pat, ask yourself. You guys been around. How many guys do you know that were young in their careers that regressed with good coaching? There you go.
Ryan Leaf.
The only ones that stink.
Ty, your question for Dan as we ponder this Aflac trivia question.
Dan, when you look at the Packers, and I don't necessarily want to do this, but like, where do you think the blame lies? Like, when everything is kind of just everything looks like shit. Like, is it more on LaFleur? Is it more on Rodgers? Is it on the offense as a whole? Obviously, the defense hasn't been very good, but like, how do they correct that? Can they correct that? And do you think that this season is salvageable at all?
I don't think the season is salvageable anymore after that loss. That was a shocking loss. Like, I don't know, like, blame. I can sit here and say, like, the defense has been incredibly underwhelming for a defense that is absolutely loaded and for a team that took 2 first-round picks when they traded away their second-best player and did nothing to increase the defensive performance with those 2 picks. You've got to sit there and go, like, the defense and those additions have failed. I think the reality is this. This is no longer Matt LaFleur's offense. I can tell you that. At least the offense that he grew up in and has been calling. I don't know why it's that case, but it is no longer like your motion, shift, under center, play action, run offense. It is gun, RPO to the side, and we're just going to take a drop back, go route, deep shot. So I don't know like why that has become the case. That's certainly what has been impacting this offense. Bakhtiari's health, obviously a big deal. Elton Jenkins' health and lack of performance.
Oh, Aflac trivia question for you. Aflac trivia question for you. Have you ever seen somebody play first couple drives, almost score a touchdown, but get intercepted, ride a bike for the rest of the game, get put on the injury report as questionable, then come back for the last drive and still have the same knee from the beginning of the game? What's going on with him, you think, Bakhtiari? Honestly, what is your thought on it? I don't know him as a I'm not friends with him. We are friendly. I've talked to him. But, man, if I'm in that locker room, I think it would be difficult to fully comprehend what the fuck's going on with one of our best players where it's seemingly opting not to play. Now, I didn't ask Aaron about this because Aaron and he are tight. I can't ask AJ about it because I think AJ and he are tight about it, and I don't want to put AJ in a position. But have you ever seen anything like that? And am I getting a misread on that? Is that what's happening? And is that appearing to be what's happening there?
It certainly appears that way. I have no idea.
Me neither.
I've never seen anything before because why can you play on the last drive, but you can't play on the second to last drive, third last drive, continue to play throughout the game? I've never seen anything like that. And that's a big part of, like, their offense right now is they can't protect. Is that why they're calling it that way? You know, it's –
and he's fucking good. Yeah. He's really good. Like, he's like a game changer.
I mean, he's gone from top 3 left tackle in football to, barely impacting their offense. So – their offense You know, like I wanted them to make a trade at the deadline for a receiver because I believed it would help, and I think it still would have. But they've got issues, man. And my biggest issue is this, Ty. Like for a team that has a relatively decent run game, they do nothing off that run game. So there ain't no point in having a good run game. Like there's no point in having a good run game if you don't use it to help other parts of the offense.
So gloom and doom. All right.
Uh-oh.
All right. Good luck with the rest of the season,
good
Ty.
enough.
Yeah, everybody, Ty. You got a beautiful baby.
Yeah, that's right.
You got a beautiful baby. The Iowa Hawkeyes have a football season next year.
Sure.
No, we're still playing for Big Ten West title. You kidding me?
Oh, you're right. Because
What's the record right now?
3-3.
Well, Big Ten West is 3-3.
Yeah, 3-3, 5-4 total.
Not to mention the Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah, hottest team in the NHL.
All right, nobody cares. All right, Dan, we appreciate you so much for joining us. Know you probably got a busy day. Can't wait to see what you steal from Darius Butler on NFL Live.
Yikes.
I will never steal Darius' stuff without his permission.
Oh,
I agree.
all right. That's
Same
very
here.
nice of you.
All right.
And everything we said to you was not real. We did not post anything about that yesterday. We were learning about it as you were telling us in the thing. We had to tell you about it. What you were talking about with the throw to the run on the boot with the naked with the clip.
Yep.
We had no idea that existed.
Just
It
Josh.
was-
Totally
good.
had me sold.
Well, yesterday we did
Hey,
have the Seahawks Kenneth Walker run, so if he uses that, because that was one of the big bumps, right? Or was that-
Yeah. Don't be stealing from AQ either. I mean,
Yeah.
AQ's.
No,
Go ahead.
he does a good job. I like to pay attention to those and learn from him because I don't know a ton about run game like that.
Well, and also pass protection. I think he has pointed out you don't know a ton about either. I think he has said that, not me. I'm just saying what AQ, because you blamed an offensive line, I think, last year, which actually led to this segment. That is why.
Thank you,
so
Dan.
we need to
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you for that, Dan. That's why.
I haven't received any royalty out of that. That's weird.
Well, you have, because we're all benefiting from it because we're getting to learn something. But you blamed a center or something on something where the mic.
Yeah, I blame the center.
Yeah, and AQ was not happy about it. I don't know what. I got a text out of nowhere like, "What? This guy doesn't fucking know what he's talking." He said, "You have Dan's number? I want to text Dan." I'm like, "What is going on?" He's like, "You just buried this guy. He has no idea what he's talking about. Somebody needs to explain what he's talking about." I was like, "Well, would you like to do a segment when you retire?" He's like, "Yeah,
That's
in the
weird.
trenches."
He never texted-
Well, I didn't.
They got into it this year, I believe,
Didn't know
under
that.
the bobbled exchange.
You guys got into it. What'd you guys get into it for? You blamed the center for something again?
No.
Well,
The
I got
three-step
into
drop
it.
pass, bro.
No, yeah. Just know that you can tell AQ like, "Hey, fuck."
Cutting the D lineman. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, cutting.
D
He
lineman.
said get his hands
Yeah.
down or whatever. It's a run play, is what AQ said. It's a run play. How are they supposed to cut a guy? It's a run play. It's a run pass option. How am I supposed to cut somebody on a run play? Yeah. He wasn't happy about that. Yeah.
Hey, it's a locker room.
Yeah, I
man.
don't know necessarily how those offensive linemen are getting in totality taught in RPOs. I don't love RPOs sometimes, so
Well,
I think that's fair.
I think that's what AQ was saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Water under the bridge now.
Yeah, we're all friends.
And you can tell AQ to go fuck himself too. Like AQ is one of those guys that like you wouldn't obviously you say go freak yourself or whatever you would say.
Fudge
like,
off.
Fudge you. Like you can say that to AQ. Now he's gonna answer though. Like AQ, it's not like oh okay Dan. He's gonna come back. Just know that you can.
Yeah, I can respect that.
Yeah, you can have that give and take with him. Don't feel like you don't have to necessarily just say like, oh AQ's gonna be right. He enjoys because then he gets to.
eat poop, AQ.
Yeah, fudge off, dude. You know what I mean? All right, Dan, we appreciate you. We'll watch you on NFL Live. You're the best. You're having an incredible season, dude. Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Orlovsky. He is the reason.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, those type of just like Lamar Jackson said, man, that shit happens. All right.
Yeah.
Go back and forth, offensive line, quarterback.
Wide.
Heat of battle.
They're
Yeah,
always
he's about it, you know?
Well, they're always going to have conflicting reasonings for why some things aren't going the way they're supposed to be going. Because the offensive line, 5 dudes.
Yeah.
Getting
Just blasted.
every single.
off
They
on.
really got to be like one, like really like one organism almost, and that's obviously tough to do. So
Concur.
Yeah,
But the
it's
quarterback is going against 5 voices
Yeah.
that are all trying to do the same thing. And the QB is like, well, if we're going to get the ball out quick, going to need you to get those people down. Well, what if you fucking hand the ball off? What are we supposed to do? And then the whole quarterback, Well, I don't know. I haven't thought of it. Block him.
What do you mean?
Block him. Yeah.
I mean, that's Peyton.
Yeah.
Just blocked, Jeff.
Yeah,
Blocked.
pretty much. I mean, it has been happening since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
And I like that we kind of have our own little version of it here on this show between Dan Orlovsky and AQ Shipley.
It's the best.
You hear about centers who are representing the entire offensive line having battles with the quarterback. We have one on this particular program. It's with Dan Orlovsky, AQ Shipley. How lucky are we?
Pretty unbelievable.
I mean, we were lucky that we get to have that a part of our program, our team.
Yeah.
Some website put out if our crew would have been announced as the coaching staff for the Indianapolis Colts. Pretty good crew.
Yeah.
Really?
Pretty good staff. Did you see it? Did you read through it?
No, I saw a few.
I think you're defensive coordinator or whatever,
saw a few.
which is awesome. I think Dan Orlovsky was offense coordinator.
Okay.
AQ Shipley was run game coordinator, offensive line coach. AJ Hawk was linebacker coach and run game whatever.
Coordinator.
Yeah, coordinator thing. And I think you had like 4 or 5 jobs there. So you're gonna we could get, I mean, we could move Antoine Bethea. And, yeah, here it is. Dan Orlovsky, O coordinator, defense coordinator, Darius Butler, special teams coordinator, Mitt's dad, of course. Quarterbacks coach, Hasselbeck. Offensive line coach, AQ Shipley. Linebackers coach, AJ Hawk. Chuck Pagano in there as a consultant. Boston Connors running backs coach, of course. Wide receivers coach, Desmond Pollard. That'd be sweet if we could tap into everything like that. Defensive line coach, David Pollock, and defensive back coach, Lou Holtz.
Hell yeah.
Boom.
I mean, if you do look at our universe, I think we could
I don't
run.
know how me and Lou Holtz would.
Oh, he was a great D-backs coach.
Well, and also whenever he starts backpedaling, you can't help but respect the backpedal of Lou Holtz.
Like a bumblebee.
You know what I mean?
There's that video of him that everyone always uses when Tom Brady goes to run the ball, of that when they hand it off to Lou Holtz and they get him a touchdown in that game, and a whole team goes.
No, that was a 95-year-old man in Kansas. Is that what you're talking
World
about?
War II vet, Coney. He fought in World War II.
What the fuck is wrong with
Jesus Christ? He's part of the greatest generation, damn it.
That wasn't Lou in practice?
Fucking
I thought he was dead ass serious, yo.
Same. I'm about Orlovsky going, I can't tell if you're being serious or not. That is the problem with this show.
Yeah, well.
Sorry.
Because you did kind of say it in your maybe voice. But Lou Holtz been around football a long time.
Long time.
There he is. There's Lou.
There he is. It's the University of Kansas.
High and tight.
That's a goddamn paratrooper. Show some respect.
Dude, that Kansas team was good, too. People didn't know that he was running against a good team.
I was going to say patient runner.
Oh, God, getting pancaked over there. Big bump.
28, Corey
Oh,
Dillon.
can open. You see the can opener blocked there by 40. Hey, that's a good touch.
Great touch. No real pizzazz going into the end zone, though.
He's been there before, pal.
Yeah.
Just hasn't been
like
his
he's been there
diaper,
before.
too. You know,
All right,
just
let's
trying
get to a
get
break.
change.
Let's take 5 minutes. Hour 2 will be on the other side.
I had no clue.
AJ Hawk will be joining us. Cannot wait to see what he's up to. Got a chance to chat with him and his father this morning. Pistol.
Yeah.
It was all Hawks and me in a 4-shot. I was in the upper quartile of the upper quartile.
That's right.
Of the Hawk family quartile. That was kind of unloaded. Can't wait to chat with him. Josh Allen news. There's a lot of things we haven't talked about. OBJ being medically cleared to play NFL this week. We think Lamar Jackson being awesome. Pay that dude. First game getting flexed on Sunday Night Football. 7 of 8 games. Jay-Z and Bezos. I mean, we got a lot to chat about. We appreciate you so much for spending your Winter Wednesday afternoon with us. Darius Butler. Now, before the program started, we asked Darius, was he going to shoot hoops or what was he going to do? He said he wanted to putt.
Oh, no.
He said the putting, is something that he would like to do for the people to potentially win some money. Please. The putting did embarrass him last week, though.
A few times.
A little bit.
A couple weeks ago, whenever the hole was this way, when he was putting north-south, I believe, with the way the Thunderdome is set up, he made 3 out of 5. Since it has turned east-west here, he has not made a single putt.
Really bad.
But now, your next stroke is your best stroke, pal. This is Darius Butler, who is going to become a scratch golfer probably within a year with how athletic he is. Attempting to make how many putts, D-Butt?
You call him, man. What was 3 last time?
Yeah. Well, then we went to 2 after you missed the first 3.
Go back to 3.
What do you want, Connor?
What do I want?
Yeah.
5. I want perfection.
Okay. Well, we're not there yet.
I think 2 is probably a safe.
2 out of 5. We'll give 10 people $500 who retweet this video.
With all due respect, Pat.
D, but you got to hit the ball.
Can't
leave it short, Darius.
You demanded perfection, and to this point in the season, we have been perfect.
All right.
D-But, get to the hole.
D-But,
go too late.
hey, take your time here. Take your time here.
There we go, Todd. Thank you.
Let's have a nice deep breath. Bam.
Hey, why don't you turn around and just put it 1 foot into that hole?
Hey, you still only need 2.
Right where I want.
Darius.
Right where I want.
Oh!
Dude, I didn't think there was a chance it could get through there. I thought that other ball would hit it in, and I would have counted. I was going to jump up out of my seat for some momentum.
Bang ring!
Oh, no. All right.
Too bad we don't have 15 balls.
Right. Don't worry about it. Darius, I have faith that you will figure it out.
It's Connor. It's Connor.
What is he? What? We'll mute his mic. We'll mute his mic next time.
It's a lot more encouraging
Earlier.
when AQ was up here yesterday.
Oh,
Racist.
He's a racist son of a bitch.
See, I don't like to
Well, it is boss.
I've been around Connor. I wouldn't put that label on him.
Well, it is.
There's been a couple things.
I'm getting censored. Bullshit. What the hell is this?
All right. Hour 1.
Bang ring.
Oh,
All right.
get them footballs.
Fire that fucking pigs.
You know, this is the earliest this has happened.
Let's go!
First try. First try. Had another ball ready for him.
Didn't need it.
Didn't need it. Chop that thing up, baby.
We'll give 10 people who retweet this video $500. Remember to reply and say something nice to somebody and put your cash tag in there to be fully entered to be one of the 10 winners randomly selected at the end of the day. Way to go, D-Butt.
Go, D-Butt.
We'll have the winners from the last week of giveaways announced here momentarily. We have another winner to put on the board, 10 of them because of what Darius just did. What a throw. You should have been a quarterback, just like Dan Orlovsky said.
Yeah.
Take 5, hour 2 will be on the other side. Be a friend, tell a friend. Take high.
Dear Coach Freeman, sing it with me, baby. This is how we do it, la 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 la. Coach Freeman, I know I've been hard on you, but like Montel Jordan says in that great song, this is how we do it, baby. That's Notre Dame football. That's what it's all about. If you notice, our next day aired a Clemson helmet to my office here because I've been pissing and pooping in that thing all weekend, using it as my own personal toilet. Just like you guys use the Clemson Tigers as your own personal toilet on Saturday night. Everybody's saying, hey, Coach Sweeting, he's the best, he's the greatest, he's the best coach of all, he's the best recruiter. Well, guess what you did? You took that boy, put him over your lap, and you fucking spanked his ass. Not only that, you take that DJ ooey ugly lay, and you made him one sad. That's Notre Dame football. Listen, we've had a tough season, okay? There's no two ways about it. And you knew there would be scrutiny. You knew old Coach Lou would be coming after you if you lose games to teams like Marshall and Stanford. But what's the best way to drown that out? By beating the shit out of Clemson and dashing their college football playoff hopes. And speaking of the college football playoff, yeah, we might not be going this year. We don't have a good enough record. You know that. I know that. Everyone who prays the touchdown Jesus knows that. But when they move to 12 teams and you play like you did yesterday, oh boy, are them fighting Irish gonna be shitting pretty, baby. I'm a God-fearing man, everyone knows that, just like you are. And I don't have many vices. But boy, have I been enjoying a nice cigar and a nice ride on roots ever since we won, baby. You did this for me, Coach. This is what you did. You should be proud of yourself. You should be proud of those boys. And with everybody talking about conference realignment, I have a simple request, or maybe just something to ponder. We're already in the ACC in basketball. Maybe consider joining the ACC for football, too. I know we're independent. I know we get a lot of money from being independent. But you fucking own everybody in the ACC. Clemson, Florida State, NC State, North Carolina. Shit, it doesn't matter who you put in front of us, okay? If you go to the ACC, mark my words, you're going to be going to the college football playoff every single year. Keep it up, Coach. I love you. I'm proud of you. And let's get this going, okay? What do you think? What I saw on Saturday, that's how a Notre Dame Fighting Irish football team is supposed to play. You were tough, you were intelligent, you were smart, you were all the things you need to do to win. And because you won, you let good old Coach Lou enjoy a nice Cohiba. And I got this drink in my cup. And there's nothing better than that, baby. Go Fighting Irish. Go get them next week. Signed, Coach Lou Holtz.
Hey,
What?
let's go! This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it. AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it!
What the fuck are you doing?
Boston
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the FanDuel Thunderdome, on this Winter Wednesday, November 9, 2022. Hour 2 starts right now. Football is obviously the topic of conversation, and a football being thrown into that hoop over there by a man who is sitting on the stage all day today like he has been all season. 9-year NFL vet, host of the Man to Man Pod, and everything DB, Darius Butler.
Yeah,
because he threw a football into that net right over there before he went to a break on his first try, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. So
first
sweet.
try, he did that. We're giving away $5,000, 500 winners to 10 different people who retweet the tweet of the video that is already out on the Twitter right now. Got a text from our CFO, lovely Phil Maines, and he said the guy goes 0 for 8, okay, on pots and everything else, and so we still are giving away $5,000. And then ... Makes sense, is what he said. So CFO Phil's not thrilled, but we are pumped that we get to go live every single day and that you spend your afternoon with us. It is hour 2 on this Winter Wednesday, November 9th. The Talks the Table is here at Boston Connor, whose hair is stunning today. At Ty Schmidt, who's seemingly given up hope on the Green Bay Packers, and at Tone Diggs, who thinks the Steelers are going to go 7-2 and make the playoffs because TJ Watt is coming back. Joining us now is a man who is in an attic in Ohio. We apologize for making him wait during the break, telling all the people who won their giveaways for the last week that they won. He's a college football national champion, Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup champion.
Whoa.
All-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
Okay.
His brother, Ryan Hawk, hosts a podcast that has 500 episodes. Congrats to him.
God damn. No easy feat.
Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
Yeah.
AJ, sorry for making you wait, pal. I apologize. We've been a bit scattered today with our conversations. Dan Orlovsky joined us, stuck around for a long time, had an incredible debate about who's stealing what from who on the internet and on TV. But I want to let you know I'm incredibly proud of your brother, Ryan. 500 episodes in podcast game is not easy. I was pumped to jump on there earlier with you and your dad and Ryan, and you guys are good people. I just want to let you know that.
Well, thank you. I know we appreciate you jumping on there. Ryan likes to do one of those with Pistol and myself every couple years or so. So you joined for a little while today, and it was awesome. You brought the juice like you always do, and we're very real. So congrats also to you and Sam, obviously, publicly. I think it's awesome. I know it's a process, all of that whole situation, but going to be awesome.
You and I have been chatting through that, and I appreciate your support through this entire thing as well, AJ. You're an incredible father. I have a lot of great dads around me. I'm very fortunate for that. I am scared to death to become a dad, but what my wife has been through and gone through, she's an absolute badass, and we're pumped. Scared? I'm definitely scared. Pumped, though. Certainly pumped, and I appreciate you, AJ. Let's dive into the story of the day. Josh Allen. It is a sprained UCL as opposed to a fully torn UCL. I believe a sprain, and everybody that we've talked to has agreed to this, and I think the internet agrees to it. A sprain is like actually a partial tear of something. That is why they say some things that are sprained are worse than if it was to break, because the partial tear isn't going to necessarily heal clean potentially, or how long it's going to take to heal. Sprain a little bit more unpredictable than like a clean break of something. A sprain is a partial tear. Josh Allen is going to get a second opinion, obviously. They're going to do this. They have the Vikings this weekend, which is a massive game. Massive game. After the Vikings, they have the Lions, who just beat the Packers.
What? 2 games out of the wild card. What?
And then they have the Bears, who beat the Patriots. But if you look at the schedule, with the Vikings coming up, obviously that's going to be an incredible battle with teams that we expect to be around the long haul because of how great they have been thus far. But then you look at the Lions and the Bears there, we potentially have a 3-week span here where they know that he has a sprain. Do you think they're thinking about resting that at all, healing that, rehabbing that for the next 3 weeks, so that whenever they get to the divisional play at the end of the season, he's maybe more healed? Or do you think this is the type of thing where they don't know if 3 weeks would be enough anyways? Let's put him out there. What are your thoughts on it, and what do you think this does to the Bills, AJ Hawk?
Well, I instantly, as you started talking, was thinking, all right, are they going to shut him down for 3-4 weeks, 2-3-4 weeks, whatever it may be? He doesn't want to do that. He will not. You have to pull him out of the line and probably take his helmet from him to get him to not go in there. But, yeah, I would. I want him healthy when it matters at the end. They're going to be there. They'll find a way without him. But I understand him wanting to play and all of that. But I'm thinking, I just don't know. With the injury, if Josh says, hey, if I sit 3 weeks, how is this going to feel almost 100% back? If they say, yeah, we think so, or they think, yeah, we don't really know, but it should help at least a little bit, then Josh no, I'm going to play that. I'm going.
Yeah, if it's a little bit, if it's not a guarantee that it's going to get better, because I think sprains can be unpredictable. I think there is you don't know how it's going to come back.
Especially you're throwing on too. It can get. You throw one weird, you drop down, throw a weird angle. Does that hurt it more? How does that work?
Well, and if it does heal a little bit and it does feel better with one throw, is that thing is 3 weeks enough time for it not only to heal but become strong enough for me to put any torque on it? These are all questions I think they're probably asking, and we don't know the answers to.
The line changed, right?
Yeah, it was down to. It opened at 7. It was down to 5.5 yesterday. Right now, it's
the Super Bowl odds changed.
They don't have. It seems like the sports books do not have a lot of faith in him possibly playing this.
Down to 3.5
Who's
now.
the backup quarterback?
So I guess from 7.5 to 3.5.
7 to 3.5.
The Vikings are a good team.
Yeah, they're really good. It opened too before this past week. They were 9.5. point favorites.
Yeah, the Bills have been a wagon.
Yeah.
I guess this will be the fourth potential backup quarterback or non-starter that the Vikings will have played this season. So I think that people are starting to hold that against them.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying the Vikings have been in battles with not good teams or whatever.
Yeah, they're talking about that.
Still win, though.
Yeah,
because they were losing those games last year.
Exactly.
A bunch of one-possession games, and we all know that's a fine line between winning and losing.
Getting lucky is a big part of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
The year we were 2-14. I don't remember the exact stat, and I reference it a lot, so I should look it up and get the exact stat. One score game, like 9 of those games or something like that. So that is literally a ball comes off of a pinky and somebody picks it and scores. We win that game.
I think that happened I was with Carolina that year, and we beat you guys like that. Caught like a tip ball interception.
You did? Crucial no call or something by a ref.
Anything. And that was 9. We were a bad football team. That's a bad football team.
Good teams create their own luck, though. Good teams tend to get lucky because they create their own luck by having 11 dudes run to the ball and you get tipped interceptions, things like that. Oh, all of a sudden our linemen are running downfield, chasing our ball carrier, the guy running the ball. He fumbles. Oh, our lineman's there to jump on it. Things like that. That's like where you create.
Was it 9? That's a lot of games.
Yeah, I thought it was, though.
I think it's a lot of games. I think it's a surprising amount of. We definitely would have made the playoffs.
What year was
definitely would have made the playoffs.
2011,
yeah, because 2-12 was
luck.
Is anyone getting just rocked week in and week out, though? Does anyone get blasted by double digits every week?
I don't. Not in the NFL. That's not a normal thing. That's why some of these massive spreads have been alarming. Damn, the books are 14 and a half. What the fuck? That's a lot of points. This is like a college line. This feels like a college
line. 2 of college, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
When colleges are playing out of conference.
Even the Jets last week against the Bills, they were 10.5 point underdogs, and it's the Jets have 5 wins. And with the Bills, it's hard just because if they lose 2 of their next 3, they can go from first to last in their division. So maybe they can rest Josh
the
Allen.
Jets and the Dolphins.
They're right there. They're 6-2, 6-3. So it's a terrible decision for the Bills. I would not want to make that one.
Yeah, it's a terrible situation.
Could be. I think it's going to force them to evolve a little bit on offense too. Include that run game.
Yeah, because he's 23 of 25 touchdowns. Dan Orlovsky said that. Hey, Dan Orlovsky said that. Fucking make sure.
In the record books.
Because I'm tired of people stealing Dan's
bullshit.
shit. Did you watch that? Did you watch us talk to Orlovsky?
I got to see a good chunk of you guys and Dan. He was a bit confused, it seemed like.
It did seem weird. Seemed like he was in a blender a couple different times. But, yeah, I understand why he's upset about that. I understand why he sent a subtweet that was basically like, if you're going to just steal other people's work, give them credit, okay?
No cap.
We learned about this. It's called plagiarism.
Okay.
No cap. He didn't say no cap, did he?
Yeah, he did.
I think he used the emoji.
With the emoji.
The blue cap.
Wait, who stole his stuff?
That's the thing. Everything just kind of blends in.
I thought he said no cap.
Yeah, everything just kind of blends in. That's a show. That's a show, really, but.
A lot of people in the breakdown game.
8 one-score games in that season.
Wow.
There was a stretch though that you guys didn't score more than 10 and lost 62-7 in one of those.
That was the Saints. Yeah,
that's when you were scout team quarterback.
I threw for 10,000 that week. Yeah, I felt good.
That was a bad month.
Couple
62?
seams there. 7 in New Orleans. First play of the game. I don't remember if it was a botched handoff or if it was Curtis Painter dropping back. We're on primetime football in New Orleans. Bad team. Him dropping back, and he got stripped, I think, and they touchdown.
Score.
I think it was touchdown.
That was a tough place to play too. When the Saints got rolling.
It was they had a blast. They had a great time that night. But you're talking about us. I don't know if we elected to receive that game or, anyways, we had the ball first, and they were up 7-0 with 10 seconds into the game. That's not a good way to start.
No,
you got the ball, and they're up 7-0 on the road. Your team has not been good in the paint. New Orleans didn't even get a chance to showcase the seams being wide open all week in practice. I was throwing it all week. We're reading the cards. You look here, then you throw it here. Got it. Break. We go out there. Look to the left. Mike moves. Boop, boop, right to this guy. That was when Jimmy Graham was there, I think, at the time. And we were just off and running. Next play, okay? Same kind of thing, but a little different formation. We're going to send the fucking wide receiver over here. You're going to look here, boom, then you're going to hit, boom, this seam right here. All right, got it. scout team DB running one tight end. You got maybe a backup wide receiver who plays special teams playing this tight end, playing against like the skeleton there of the defense. It's the linebackers in the secondary. And it's just kind of, it's not full go, but it's pretty, three-quarter, we're going here. And it's look, boom, bang, boop, fucking another one.
Carving them.
Next day of practice, same exact thing. Next day.
If you're looking people off in practice. You're playing scout team quarterback, looking dudes off in practice. We might know on Wednesday that we have an issue that week.
Yeah, well, it was literally what Drew did. I guess that's what Drew Brees did. Like Drew Brees. That was his. I guess that was his big thing. Like, hey, you look this way, and then you literally. Like, I even got shown film.
Bottom of his face.
I got shown film. Like, hey, this is what you're going to do. You're going to look this way, and then you're going to throw that way. That's not the play, but that is certainly the evening that Jimmy Graham scored one of maybe 10 touchdowns. But yeah, it was. I threw for. Like, no shit, I probably threw for over 1,000 yards that week. It was, so I had AJ.
Were they pissed?
I was like, damn, I'm going. Were they pissed? Yeah.
Like the defense, were they pissed at you and just like.
We were terrible that year. We were terrible that year. And I got along with, I did pre-work, like pre-practice warm-ups with the linebackers, right? So I was with the linebackers, like giving looks or whatever. So I had a pretty good relationship with that crew, I thought. And then we would go out and do the throw thing, and it was just like slicing and dicing. It was always like, damn, Pat, like, a lot of like, come on, we're going to get it figured out or whatever. But we're all on the same page, It wasn't like I was playing offense. It was like I felt like I was part of the defense. It was like, goddamn, we're going to get killed here. Like I think AJ Eads was staying at my house at the time, former Iowa Hawkeye linebacker. He can hit a golf ball 420. He's like you. He's like he hits a draw though.
Farther than me.
No, I think you and him very similar, but he murders a golf ball. He was staying at my house at the time, and he was injured, and he had watched practice though all week. So on Saturday when I was heading to the plane or whatever, he was like, "You think they score 100 points this week? Actually, with that play that you beat them up with all week?" I'm like, "I think so. Get on the plane, get there." We lose 62-7.
Pretty close.
It was maybe the most predictable thing I've ever seen in my entire life, but that's not normal NFL. Normally, look what the Carolina Panthers, everybody think they're just mailing it in. They'll fucking beat teams. They will beat good teams at the end point. That's the NFL. There is levels to this shit. I think a lot of it revolves around coaching, though, AJ. And I think, in the pursuit of great coaching, I think you're going to go through some shit. You lose a great coach, you lose a great quarterback, same type of effect, you think? Or do you think one affects much more than the other? And everybody's going to point at the Patriots here. But I don't know if that's just the only example we have. Because what I'm wondering is, when did the Colts get fucked? Was it when we lost a good quarterback? Was it when we lost, a good coach? Is it when we, when is it you think that affects a team? What is it you think that affects a team more going forward?
That's a great question. I would always point towards the player because they're the ones on the field making the plays. I think didn't Bill Belichick even say I'm not out there. I'm going to make 0 plays. I'm not going to be on the field at all. It's like, how have I coached my guys up to make plays and put them in the best position to be successful? So I think a quarterback is key. When you lose Andrew Luck, he retires 9 days before the season. That's a huge earthquake that happens to your team. When Andrew Luck was the guy hey, we're set for the next 15 years, man. Here we go. Let's do it.
Because I want to judge Frank's time here.
Yeah.
Frank had success, I think, as a coach for us.
Winning record, right?
There was success.
Yeah.
He had never had a losing coach here.
Amen.
Don't hire
Jim Irsay said.
Don't hire losers.
Yeah, don't hire. And that's since 2020. Top quartile. We went through that entire thing where I think Jim's messaging, is always going to come in a different fashion, so people aren't going to listen to him. And he followed up with calling to Kravitz and Chappell to explain and elaborate even more. They both write at The Athletic, I think. Chappell has a Hall of Fame vote. Kravitz has been in Indianapolis for a long time. He's wrote a lot of pieces on Jim. Him and Jim are very tight, so interested to hear those quotes coming out from him. But, was Frank a good coach? And will Frank be remembered as a good coach here? And was it Frank's fault? Should we view Frank, or is it just a situation that was basically unwinnable, you think?
When you wear that hat, you're going to take some blame. You're going to take probably more blame than you deserved. Same with the quarterback. But, it's a combination of both. Obviously, quarterback is extremely important, but that's only one phase of the game. You still got special teams, you still have defense, game management, how do you prepare, so coaching and all that stuff, general manager. It all got to line up to win this league when you're playing against the best of the best. And that's why I was so impressive what the Patriots were able to do for fucking 20 years. That just doesn't happen. But because
everybody else is getting paid too.
Yeah, everybody's getting paid. But I'm with AJ though. The players, I look at the players first, but then obviously the coaches have to get those players prepared. But these are professional players too, so they take more
onus.
More onus than like college players or high school players.
I understand that completely because, Frank Reich, I think by all accounts, good dude, like great man.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people like him. I've gotten a chance to chat and interact with him. He coached me when I back on that original team that we're on because I was the emergency quarterback. So there was a lot of work that Frank and I have done together. I like him as a person. As a coach, I wonder, is he looking back on these last 3 years as a complete failure? Is he looking at it as a success? What are his views on it from Frank Reich? Because I guess he has talked about taking a break. One of the local reporters tweeted, I forget which one it was. I don't want to misquote somebody, but this is not our information, or this is neither Dan or Orlovsky's information as well. Frank Reich's going back to Carolina, I guess, for a few months where he has family and everything like that. He's planning on coaching again, and he would like one of the head coaching jobs again in the future. So he's still going to go. I wonder what his whole take is on it, because now Jeff Saturday is the head coach.
Yeah.
Jeff Saturday said, it has been reported by Zach Kiefer of The Athletic, the guy that was on our show yesterday, great writer, formerly of the Indy Star, that the first time Jeff Saturday heard about being a head coach was during a phone call from Jim Irsay during Sunday's game against the New England Patriots. Jim Irsay sitting in Robert Kraft Stadium up there in Patriot Place in a suite. He had just got done cutting a promo on the street next to his bus with his dog Drake walking around. He's sitting in there with his incredibly custom tailored sport coat, his very comfortable pants, his Saucony shoes, cool sunglasses, watching the game. He's watching it unfold like all of us other people are there watching that game. The Colts fucking stink. He says, call Jeff. He goes to his phone, 63, right? Fucking calls him. Are you watching this, brother? And Jeff's like, yeah. And he's, what would you do here? And Jeff's like doing, I think right here you got a blah, 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 blah. Jeff's like, yeah. And then, what would you do right here, Jeff? Wow, definitely challenge that. You got to challenge that. That certainly has to be challenged or whatever. Yeah. All right, thanks, Jeff.
You know what?
Fucking hiring Jeff Saturday.
Yeah.
Is that what happened, AJ? And
Sounds like it.
how much more of that are we going to get
Planes on
from
the
this
way.
story? What's that?
The plane's on the way.
Yeah, Jeff, congratulations. You're a head coach of the NFL. Why don't you ask your wife if she wants to be a head coach? Because I know you probably just told her, old friend Jim Irsay and I were just chatting on the phone. You didn't even know it was really an audition or whatever, but you were certainly, that was an interview whenever I was asking what you would do, and it seemed like you got it right. This is a fascinating, everybody has an opinion on this now. A lot of people are mad that Jeff Saturday got this job. A lot of people pissed off because they think he's just jumping to the front of the line when there's been a lot of people waiting. It's like, I think this is an interesting situation because how close Jeff and Jim are. And this isn't just because Jeff played for the Colts for a long time, is in the Ring of Honor for a long time. Jeff was a massive part of that CBA negotiation, and I assume he and Jim Irsay had big conversations throughout it all. His relationship with the owner and ownership has been very strong for a very long time. So Jim Irsay saying, I'm going to hire not somebody that's on the current staff, which is, by the way, first time in 62 years, so I understand that is an anomaly. But Jim Irsay's been an owner for a long time. Jim Irsay's he's never done this in any of his ownership years. He probably had this plan all along, that if he was to do this, he would do it differently. Probably seen other people fire their coaches, judge them for how they're doing it, and what he would do. Hires his friend, which people are pissed off about. But I think Jeff, if he has any success at all, maybe going to be the fucking head coach of this team going forward. It sounds like that's what Jim would like going on. And if you're Jeff Saturday, what a whirlwind of a life. Just like pancakes on Get Up. Greeny said, a week ago, my guy would be here. Now he's a head coach in the NFL. Yeah. It's like such a real thing. It's an insane situation. Saturday said, Irsay asked him, what the hell is wrong with our protection? No mention of Frank Reich or an interim head coaching job. So Jeff Saturday cleared up the protection on the phone. And then Jim goes, perfect. We fixed the offensive line, brother. We win. This staff has been here the entire year. They have chosen not. If Gus Bradley was going to be the head coach, that's awesome. Did he fix our offensive line for us? No.
Nope.
Reggie, we fucking love Reggie. He's a leader. He's going to be in the ring. He's already in the Ring of Honor. Should be in the Hall of Fame. Reggie, do you want to be head coach, Reggie? Hell no. I do not want to be head coach. Okay. All right. Not going to be Reggie. Can anybody else coach the fucking offensive line? No. Jeff Saturday. Get in here, fix this offensive line. This is the highest paid offensive line. You see that stat, that graphic? Jim knows he paid them a lot of fucking money and that they stink. Got to figure that out, right? Because he's a bad owner. If you pay a group and they're bad, that means you can't judge talent. You can't scout football. Things are getting worse. What a whirlwind for Jeff Saturday. If you're Jeff Saturday right now, what are you trying to do, AJ? What do you think?
Well, so today is Wednesday. He had probably his first team meeting, right, where he was leading the team meeting, where he walks through the door as the head coach. Like, how surreal and weird was that for him in his Colts gear?
Good morning,
everything.
man.
He's like,
Good morning, coach.
Yeah.
Jeff.
He's doing the Chuck Pagano. Yeah, man. Like, also, I've seen where people are pissed at Jeff, where people try to claim, well, how does he probably should not have accepted it. Like, okay, get out of here. All right, I have zero desire to be a coach. I'm a terrible coach. But if someone offered me a head coaching position in the NFL, I would have to seriously think about taking that thing. And that's a big change in your life. But I'd be like, this would be cool. Why not? Let's go give it a shot. And
let alone if you were a coach. You said you would do that. You don't want to be. Neither of us want to be a coach. Neither of us think we'd be good coaches, mostly because neither of us want to spend the amount of time it takes to be a good coach. But if you're 100% right, if I was offered, a head coach of an NFL.
Yeah.
I mean,
I bet it seems like one of those dudes too good to turn down, right? Like, I think I got to do this.
And Jeff wanted to be a coach. So, like, Jeff had coaches.
You lose every game.
Yeah.
You lose every game, it's still a cool experience.
Darius, everybody's pissed off about Jeff Saturday cutting the line, and obviously the Rooney Rule has been talked about by Jim Irsay and by everybody. In my opinion, I talked about this yesterday during the What is Jim Irsay? I talked about it a little bit in there. This could actually help out in the future for how many ex-players are coaching at a high level, because if they don't have to do the coffee grabbing and the card drawing and the get paid nothing and see your family never after an entire career, I think you're going to see a lot of former ex-players want to become coaches more if Jeff has success here. Yeah. That's not really being talked about. Do you enjoy the entirety of how this is all panning out? And what are your thoughts on Jim hiring Jeff?
I mean, it's honest. For me, it's hard not to enjoy it just because it's, it's something we haven't seen ever. You know what I mean? And that being a former player who I feel like, maybe not cut the whole line, but once again, if this job is offered to me, I'm definitely accepting it. But there are, like, Jeff Saturday shouldn't start as an intern or start as, earning your stripes and doing all this stuff. So I think in the grand scheme of things, it could help former players get in there and get into better positions. And I understand people being upset about, other qualified candidates or minority candidates and things. But, for me, it's been the same thing. And I said it a few years ago in 2020 when it was a bigger story. But, as long as you have, the leagues that are majority, white owned, like these guys are more than likely going to hire people who they have, these type of relationships with. Or I had a former GM tell me most of the time the hiring process, it comes down to the decision. Who would you rather have a beer with? In reality, whatever I deal in reality, like
we all want a world.
We all want a world where it's equal opportunities in these type of things, but in reality, that's just what it is. It's relationships, and it's another relationship business. So I'm rooting for Jeff, to have some success and maybe open the doors for some other guys. But unless you have a league where it's diverse ownership and it's things like that, or sponsors come in and say, hey, you know what, I see a diversity issue here, and we may pull our money or sponsorships going forward unless we see a change by, 2024 when our contract's up. Then you may see some change, because that's what the language these billionaires speak. And if I'm own something that's worth a couple billion, you're not going to tell me who the fuck to hire either. Mm-hmm. So you got to understand that part of it too. But I definitely get people being upset about it. But, Jeff has he's familiar with this team too. When we were there and for training camp, I bumped into him. He was there. He was a consultant. He was there in training camp. So all the guys know him. Even the young guys who probably went around to watch him actually play, they know who Jeff Saturday is. So it's not like he's just getting plucked from Georgia. So he was around him in training camp, spent some time with him. And as a head coach, it's about managing personalities, having some, managing schedules, obviously, having some emotional intelligence more so than like X's and O's and stuff like that. So I'm rooting for Jeff, man. It's going to be a tough position. Task. Young quarterback.
But it seems like everybody was pissed off about the hire. Yeah. And, I understand that as well whenever you think about in the off season when there's a full coaching cycle and interview process and everything like that, and somebody's interviewing with like 5 different people and he doesn't get hired, and then the person that is hired, not great, ends up not being great too, so that puts a spotlight on it all. We're talking about a middle of the season hire, right? Normally this is just coming from within the staff. And to Darius's point, and I didn't even remember this, we were there at training camp, we got to see the training camp, Jeff being that tight with the organization, it's just, it feels like Jim probably thinks he did hire from within in this whole thing, even though everybody's like, this is 62 years and you haven't. And if it doesn't work out, I assume Jim will do a full interview cycle. I assume he'll do the same thing.
He has to no matter what. I think no matter what, he has to do a full interview cycle. Even if he plans on keeping Jeff, you have to go through the whole process still.
Yeah, so I'm it feels like everybody's pissed off about it, though.
Oh, yeah. What about Josh McCown? Wasn't Josh McCown supposed to be a head coach? I thought would people be more pissed that they brought him in?
Yep. See, that would be yes. That's an interesting. Anyways, Jeff Saturday had his first team meeting this morning. We had chatted about it where he walked in as if he was Chuck on Thursdays here. Good morning, Ben.
Morning, Coach.
I told the guys this morning, I care about the players and their families. I've sat in their seat, man. This losing sucks, man. I like Frank. I've texted with Frank. He's a heck of a coach. I mean, they played for this dude. I don't minimize that at all. And Jeff Saturday also was asked about his strategy going forward on fourth downs because, Frank Reich was going to be pretty aggressive. He said, I'm an offensive lineman, bro. Okay, we're going to take points how we can get them. It's tough in there. He said it's not easy to get points. It's not easy to drive down a field and end up with nothing.
Love that.
So I'm intrigued to hear how he has to handle his stuff. I think Jeff will use analytics. I think he will. Because I think he's young enough, smart enough, and familiar with them enough because he's been on TV, so he's had to sit in production meetings where these have been laid out by the analytic people, and Jeff is a astute human being, so he's going to pick up on it. I'm pumped to see what type of coach he is. Is he going to be chirping with refs? We're getting to learn all these things. Like, is he going to
Jeff likes to talk. Jeff,
Yes.
I think he's going to be very active on the sideline.
I think so too. Yeah, I think refs are potentially going to come on. I think you're going to see a lot of can't have that type of
You're
stuff.
chirping with the sheriff.
Exactly.
And I'm sure you saw a lot more of that than everybody else did. But even just that little clip of that's Peyton. You don't see you always see Tom getting on the O line. I'm sure it's some back and forth. But you see Jeff hey man, run the damn ball, and then that whole interaction right there. It's going to be interesting, man. I think a lot of former players are locked in on this. And
I think so, too, honestly. I think a lot of former players that are thinking about getting into coaching probably have the ability and the traits to be a great coach are watching this because if they're success, now they have reason to campaign for other jobs as opposed to being fucking assistant consultant too. You know what I mean?
Head coaching gigs, though? You think this opens it up for future
coordinators
guys going from nothing to head coach?
Jim Irsay, I think is one of one. So I don't think many guys will get called for head coaching jobs, but maybe position groups. And it's not like that's unprecedented. We saw Kellen Moore retire as a backup quarterback and become a quarterback's coach immediately. So it's happened. It's some precedence there, but I think it should happen more because when you think about it, as a player, especially a veteran player, you have to somewhat become like AQ. I'm sure as a player, he was somewhat of a coach. You bring younger players in, and your success, relies on them knowing the fuck to do, knowing where to line up. Like you got to get those guys lined up. So you have that part of it. It's the other part that you don't have, game planning and PowerPoints and presentations and shit like that guys can figure out. So I think this will open more doors, hopefully.
Now, if you think about it, if Jeff goes on and goes undefeated here.
Yeah.
Okay. We're talking about A.J. Hawk, Darius Butler, these guys getting offered head coaching jobs. Because this is how these owners are.
Yeah.
Remember, Sean McVay had success. We need to find the next Sean McVay.
Yeah.
Can't be too tall. Got to be
younger.
Got to be young.
Good beard.
Fiery. Got to have cool hair. Got to be able to call offense. That is what
offensively.
It worked. It worked for the Rams, didn't it? Look, that worked for. We need to do the same. We need to do the same thing. We hired a consulting firm. The consulting firm said we need to find somebody similar to the successful people in your league. So let's try to find somebody like McVay. Find us the next McVay. Yeah. Boom. Here's 6 of them. Zach Taylor, Cliff Kingsbury, Matt LaFleur, Arthur LaFleur. Bam, 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 the whole. So if there's success to be found, those other people who don't have a fucking clue what they're looking at or the business that they're in. They see somebody else have success. It's a copycat league. Everybody says it about plays. It's a copycat league about everything. If business starts good. There was one particular stadium that said, we're going to attach a hotel to here, a plaza to here, and a casino to here. And whenever people come to games, we're going to get all of their money. And then now every other stadium's like, boom, we need to build a plaza, casino, hotel alongside the stadium so we can do it. People see what works for other people, and they fucking mimic it. That's why the Sean McVay thing came. If Jeff Saturday has success, Jim Irsay is one of one. I agree. We are very fortunate to get to know that fucking dude as opposed to the people that haven't. But I think there'll be other people that are like, who's somebody that's attached to our program that our fans love that could potentially display the traits of being a good head coach? This is if Jeff has success. And what is success for Jeff? Is it making the playoffs? I don't think they're going to be able to do that.
Winning
I'd say that.
2 games.
Yeah.
2 games.
Playoffs.
Playoffs.
No way.
Playoffs. Nah, but that's it.
Dude, they got a great defense. The defense is good.
Yep.
Offensive
If they
line.
get in the playoffs, like Jeff, they might vote Jeff in as president if they get in the playoffs. Like if he can do a job like that, come on now.
What do you think Jeff's thinking?
Jim might just sign over ownership of the team to Jeff if he can do that.
Well, I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Yeah.
From what I've heard, there's been some conversations about signing over parts of the team, and those have not gone long or well.
Yeah.
from what I've been told potentially, but. So
interesting.
So what do you think success is? Let's say it right now. How many games left? 9, 8? How many games are left?
I don't even know if it's wins and losses.
games.
I think it's just because they just need to be
Moral
competitive.
victories.
Not even moral victories, but they just can't look like they did last week. Because also the way everyone in the media has been, if the Colts go out on Sunday and they get beat by 5 touchdowns, there will be blood in the water, and it's going to get be absolutely terrible. But if they don't quit and they compete and they look like they're actually improving a little bit, I don't necessarily think it matters if they win 2 games. I think people will be like, you know what, that actually was a lot better than we expected. Because not only on the offense, look at the staff that's left. Offensively, it's bare bones. It's just you've already fired everyone that was.
Talking about Parks Frazier.
We got
Who the
Parks.
fuck is Parks Frazier?
He's calling plays.
I know he's calling
Parks
plays.
Frazier.
He's running around for
there's
Duck
a fence
Hodges
coming.
3 years
No,
ago.
absolutely no. It's not personal to him, but
What happened?
so we got Parks. This is the hand that Jeff is being dealt
Right.
too. You got Parks Frazier calling plays for the first fucking
If the
time.
O-line gets
Parks.
better,
Let's
that's
go,
a
baby.
success.
You see the field differently.
I think that's
If
success.
the O-line gets better and they score more points, that's success.
I'm betting this guy's fodder and his fodder's fodder and his fodder's fodder were in the football world. Okay,
Absolutely.
Parks
Parks can spin
Frazier.
it.
He might have started at Sanford in 2015 as a defensive assistant,
Right.
but in these last 7-8 years, not only has his brain grown, but his brain has found out that it was put into this body on this planet to be a play caller.
Oh yeah.
Wait till you see what fucking Parks does this weekend. I've heard he's been on the dry erase board like a beautiful mind, that fucking guy. I've heard we got things and gadgets going on, just like Kansas City. Just like you see Kansas City run. Wait till you see this Parks Frazier.
Hit out of the park.
Yeah, you're out of both parks,
There
pal.
it is.
I hope so. I hope this guy recognizes how unbelievable of an opportunity this is.
Oh, I'm sure Parks is baffled by
Hey,
this.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at Mike McDaniel. If you'd have looked at him,
Sure.
just off the street, say this guy can't be a coach in the NFL. He can't get it done.
And what'd he do? What'd he do?
Look at him now.
What'd he do?
Look at
Get
him
it
now.
done.
Yeah, you know the difference though is that the Dolphins have a good team, and I get that the defense is good, but their offensive line has fallen into the Rodgers Brady category. Yeah, they have a good offensive line on paper, but they're not good this year. They fucking suck this year.
Yeah, but remember,
That's why you
Jim
bring
was
in
talking to Jeff.
Sure.
Hey, bring
Brother,
in Jeff.
What would you do? They're fucking killing our guy.
Okay, but they still
Well, you
don't
got to
have
run a little duo there. You got to run a wham.
Still don't have
They need a can opener block here.
Yeah.
They need to do the
That's
whole.
a hell of a fucking answer. You're our head coach.
Goddamn right. Why don't you ask your wife if you could be a head coach of our team? When? Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
I'll call you in 20.
don't have a quarterback, don't have a running back.
Don't have
We have Matt Ryan.
Their weapons
Jonathan
aren't
Taylor.
good.
Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor hasn't played in 3 weeks.
He's back. He's practicing.
They
I
traded
bet
Naeem
Jonathan Taylor, the
Hines.
first 3 games he's ever missed in his entire life since Pee Wee football.
They fucking stink,
This
and they're
team-
not going to get better because they brought in
I think Matt Ryan.
Jeff Sarek.
You got to put Matt Ryan back in there at this point.
Yeah, I think so too. Colts running back Jonathan Taylor, who missed
When he's
last
healthy.
week's game due to an ankle injury, was spotted today participating in practice.
Well, guess what?
Huh?
Guess
We're
what their record is with Jonathan Taylor in the game
This year or just ever?
this year.
0-0 with Jeff Saturday head coach.
Boom! Undefeated with Jeff Saturday as a coach.
Yeah, they aren't a good football team. They're not going to Yeah, and let's keep in mind who the interim head coach, last year of the year, Rich Bisaccia took his team to the playoffs, and they didn't rehire him. So there is
Maybe
I
they
did,
should have.
I did see a stat. It was a 26% success rate if for
What's that?
interim coach.
What determines his success?
I think playoffs. It might have actually been hired after. Now I think about it.
Got to be the only show. Got to be the only show in history. Zito, thank you for that stat. man.
Big time.
Stat that.
Anyways, sounds like chances are low. You know what I mean? And that's what past experiences are. But maybe they have a good defense. Jeff Saturday.
They can score 3 or 4 times on defense. They have a shot. They really do.
Yeah, do they have a good defense too? They lost to Taylor Heineke.
No, you got a
good
good
question.
defense.
Hey,
yes.
it's the NFL. Really?
Yeah.
Do they this year?
If you look at the numbers offensively that you get, all the turnovers, the fumbles, the sacks, and defensively you're still holding teams to what they've been doing, yes.
Their best player
that was
doesn't play.
That was their first touchdown of the day.
Their best player doesn't play anymore.
Well,
Shaq Leonard doesn't.
They're still doing good.
He's working his way back in.
He needs to play more. We got to find a spot.
Jeff
for
will
him.
make sure.
You got to think we've been at those games,
Jeff will
Connor.
make
Think about how
I
terrible
know.
the offense has been.
That's what I mean.
They've all been like one-score games. You know why? Because on the flip side, those games have been terrible. You know why? Because the offense stinks and our defense is good. They've been incredibly boring to watch. That's bad football. You have great defense and a terrible offense. That makes the game experience pretty terrible.
Yeah,
but-
That makes the game pretty terrible. That's what it's been all
Also,
year.
early in the season, though, they lost 24-0 to the Jags, and we were like, maybe this is a different Jags team. The Jags fucking stink too, and they still got killed
To your point,
by the Jags.
To your point, think about it. Like Bears fans are celebrating like they're winning the Super Bowl because they're scoring points and they're
No, it's 'cause we have a fucking
they're 1 and
quarterback,
4 in
Tom.
their last 5.
Not like
and
you.
you know why? It's because the games that they have had to watch for the last 30 years have been terrible offense, great defense.
Yeah. Thank
you, Pat.
Think about how miserable of a 4 hours Chicago people have had to have for
Mm-hmm.
that's why Lamar Jackson coming to Baltimore. Remember, because that's what Baltimore was. They actually won a Super Bowl because of the defense. They were great defense, bad offense. That's a miserable watching game. Now you get some highlights from the defensive side of the ball, big time hits. Not saying defensive football is miserable to watch, but if there isn't like a spectacular play made, or it's kind of a boring. Yeah. Not that defenses can't provide that. Don't want this to be a shot at defenses, but you get it. Lamar Jackson needs to get paid by the Baltimore Ravens, not only because of what he does on the field. He put the game on his back against the Saints there. I mean, I know Kenyon Drake scored 2 touchdowns, but Lamar's the guy. He's fucking unstoppable. He's in a go-get-a-bag year, which he was in last year. He might get franchise tagged a couple times. But the reason why we think he has to be paid, not only because he's already won the MVP and won a playoff game and has been, all of these incredible things on the football field that have made a lot of fans of the Baltimore Ravens that would have never been fans of the Baltimore Ravens in the past. They see these clips, they see these highlights, they see the way Lamar operates, and they're like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to be a fan of the Baltimore Ravens because I'm a fan of Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has already done that just on his rookie contract, all these things that we just mentioned right there. But off the field, the motherfucker's been perfect. In the community, the only questionable things that he's done is he almost ran into a jet ski, on a beach, which can't have it. Lamar, can't have it, okay? But maybe that was him trying to avoid contact like he does during the game, so maybe that's part of his training.
Could be.
And I guess he did some one-on-ones and flip-flops, and that people got really pissed off about that.
Yep.
But other than that, the dude is perfect off the field. He is a role model, a mentor to everybody. In this moment between he and Landon, who is going through a heart condition of some sort, and Landon obviously surprised by getting the opportunity to see and meet Lamar, this kid's crying his fucking eyes out. You think this happens with a lot of people? No. Lamar has impacted his community. Lamar has been a playmaker on the field. Pay this man his damn money already, Baltimore.
Cheapskates. I really don't know what they're waiting on. I mean, it's not going to happen before the end of the season now, but if I'm him too, I mean, I guess there's always that number that no matter what, if they give him that number, he's going to re-sign. But if I were him, I'd be like, part of you's got to be like, fuck these guys.
I don't know how he isn't already like that.
Yeah.
Especially after the offer they offered him. Like that.
Yeah, they lowballed him.
The alleged offer, but it was, 135 million guaranteed?
And $230 million is what Deshaun got in the same exact division.
And Kyler, even Kyler.
185, right? What was his?
Was he 65?
165?
Yeah, still, and he hasn't won anything.
Yeah, he's not even in the ballpark.
No.
I thought Lamar's actual offer was that.
185 or 165?
Well, they said, 135 was initially announced, and then someone said it was between 135 and 180.
But unless Lamar's leaking information, which I assume he isn't, we're only getting the Baltimore offer.
Right.
Who knows what the incentives were on that, how many years that was, when the guaranteed money is. Why do you think it is, AJ? What do you think that, because Lamar, he held up that sign the other day and said, pay Lamar's money or whatever, which I think everybody agrees upon except for whoever's making the decision with the pocketbook in Baltimore. Like, they go to an offer with him right now, and they're like, hey, here's 5 years, $250 million, or here's 6 years, $250 million guaranteed, or whatever, however they want to cook it so they can, salary cap game, cash over cap game, that thing. He would take that deal middle of the season, even though he said negotiations down, right? Or do you think that is the reason why they haven't got a deal done, AJ? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I would think if they came to him with the offer that he felt was right for him, he would absolutely accept it. But Lamar doesn't seem like the guy that it would turn on the team, though. He seems, at least how he looks, like everything is on the up and up, and he seems to have a great relationship with everybody there. So if he is, he's hiding it well. If he is pissed at the team, but I don't think he is. They're gonna have to figure it out. They have to.
Instead, the Ravens offered Jackson an extension worth $250 million with $133 million guaranteed. That would have run through the 2027 season, according to ESPN. Asked whether or not he turned down $250 million from the Ravens after the Jets win, Jackson replied, "Fully guaranteed." Businessman. What a fucking answer.
It's got to be the sticking point.
Yes.
You know, you gave $230 to Deshaun. Like, it's not his fault, but you got to do business as business has been done. And obviously, I don't have the same off-the-field issues that Deshaun has. I'm a better player on the field. I mean, I've been on the field than these other guys who've gotten paid. So, 200. I mean, I've been saying 4 years, 200. But whatever north of 200, fully guaranteed, that's a sticking point. And in my opinion, I think it should be.
I think so, too. And I think everybody's on his side. This isn't normal.
Oh, yeah.
Normally, the public perception is like this greedy asshole. And I think there are some
side
people.
with the billionaires,
There's
usually.
probably people, some reason, always siding with the billionaires. You do not relate to the people that are paying the money at all. You relate to the person that came from nothing and is working their ass off. But after you leave, the team will still be there, is why the fans feel the way they feel. It's like they've been with the team since before you got there. And after, it's an interesting dynamic that always comes to a head during the CBA negotiation when the public perception is always like on the billionaire side. And I'm so confused. I grew up I'm a fan. Like, you could be me, like your kid could be me. Why are you siding? None of it makes sense to me. But in this particular case, it feels like a majority of the people are on Lamar's side. Like, give Lamar his money. I don't know why, if you're Baltimore, if it's a babyface move to do so, and the guys, I don't know why you wouldn't do it. I honestly don't have a clue why you wouldn't do it.
Especially when you look at that. It's like, I mean, from everything we've learned now, too, which I think in years previous people haven't known this, it's like you see $250 million and you assume it's $250 million, like $133 million guaranteed
which is awesome money. Let's not get crazy. It's an insane amount of money to play football. We get it.
Absolutely, but that's not what he's worth.
Yeah, that's not.
He's worth well more than that, and the guys who are getting paid more than him haven't done what he's done on the field. Probably not, and then I don't even know. I mean, Deshaun especially, but like Kyler, I don't know how he is in the community. Like, Lamar means everything to Baltimore. If they don't have him, if he's not their quarterback, I think the amount of fans you have and like that franchise, like, it drastically changes. And if it is $250 million, you guys would know much better. Like, what are the realistic chances that he ever has of making $250 million off that contract?
Oh, no chance.
Never.
Yeah,
Never.
Those
not going to happen.
escalators, probably not.
Yeah.
Probably Pro Bowl, Super Bowl,
Right.
Pro Bowl, Super Bowl.
Don't miss any games.
Yeah, percentage of completions, like the amount of incentives you put in there. But nonetheless, it's not his fault. The Cleveland Browns set the precedent on what the NFL is. And if you look at the amount of money that he is worth and has brought to the Baltimore Ravens organization, let alone on the field, off the field, I think keep fighting the fight, Lamar.
Yeah, keep going, Lamar.
All right, let's get to a break. Let's get to a man who has, a pretty good amount of money and has run an incredible business.
Yeah.
The CEO of Fanatics will join us on the other side. Fanatics is kind of taking over the world with merch and licensing and deals with everything. They are cooking, always cooking. And this man not only got like Meek Mill out of jail, I think he's friends with everybody, does business with everybody, will be joining us in 5 minutes. Mike Rubin.
Oh, here we go.
This is awesome. Can't wait to chat with him. Can't wait for the final hour here on this Winter Wednesday, November 9th. Be a friend, tell a friend, take 5.
5.
Up next on PMSN 14, how a local man won thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars from the world's #1 sportsbook this past weekend. With more, here's Nikki Lucine.
Hello and welcome to this special investigative report. What was once considered dirty and dangerous, sports wagering, now regulated and legalized, has many of us dreaming big. We're all searching for the big one, a wager of massive proportions. One of PMI's own, Boston Connor, was able to accomplish just that this weekend.
We sat down with the brazen member of the toxic table himself, just to find out how it all happened.
Yeah, it's been about 3 years or so of me placing these bets going all the way back to 2020, and you never think that every single guy on your parlay is going to score 2 touchdowns, let alone a same game parlay plus, but somehow, some way it happened. And I'm just relieved that telling people over and over and over again that plus 155,000 odds bets can hit finally did hit.
The wager consisted of 2 same-game parlays, combined to create a same-game parlay plus.
Devontae Adams, everyone said he stunk after last week because he only had 1 catch for 3 yards, so I figured Devontae's pretty good at football. He'll score 2. Travis Etienne, he was just kind of like, Etienne's playing well, he's never scored 2 touchdowns. You might as well just throw him in there just because, you know, it. Austin Eckler, he always scores 2 touchdowns. And then Cordero Patterson, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he's just coming off the IR, and I figure when they get to the goal line, they'll give it to Cordero, and they did. So that's kind of why I picked those 4. There's no real rhyme or reason, but yeah.
We did the math to calculate just how much of an investment this actually was. 50 total weeks at a median bet amount of $25 was $1,250 in 2+ touchdown parlays with a net of $26,750 after hitting this same game parlay plus.
Really? Holy shit.
What do you plan to spend the remaining winnings on?
Sunglasses and bubblegum, maybe cigarettes, I don't know.
Can this maniacal magic man maintain his heater? For now, he's been placed in charge of PMI's precious Super Boost for the next primetime matchup. Until next time, good night, good morrow, good luck, and good fortunes.
We're talking hockey. Roldy and Rupper talking hockey.
That was the first time I found out it was Mario Brothers. That's all. Growing up, like everybody called it Mario Bros. You know, that was just
Once you're called the fucking king of New York, you didn't feel like you had to dress to the higher level.
What I love about New York is however you want to dress, however you want to, who you want to be, you just blend in, and it's so comfortable.
This is an organization in Arizona that wasn't paying their fucking bills earlier in the season.
Again, he's not trying to square off with cats because no one.
Someone didn't pay the electric bill around here.
You fucking bum.
Where you at? Away from the dungeon? What is that? You got the bricks in the back.
The fuck's going on?
Is this a fucking Saw? Is this a Saw movie, dude?
Yeah.
Where's fucking Jigsaw?
You want to play a game?
Hey, boss. Thanks for talking.
Hey. You said you swept the stars. That kind of shut me up. For the
that kind of.
Not one of my finest moments or proudest moments or whatever you want to call it, but I tell you one thing. It's infamous in the sense that I go into schools and young kids will come up to me and they go, "Oh, you really gave it to Bellows," and I got it. Oh, kid,
Yes.
you know, that was computer generated.
Get into the Blues alumni kind of unofficially / officially. They gave me one of these bad boys.
Oh,
so
look at that. Got you one of
I feel
these.
pretty.
Look at that thing.
That's
What?
Huh?
We're winning the fucking Stanley Cup. The Red Wings are almost as bad as Fox internet service right
Whoa!
there. The Bruins are getting fucking ran out of town tonight. Your biggest lock, I got it. And Ty knows, even though he might be Mark Stoner in this thing, the Vegas Golden Knights fucking stink. Texas, what's that known for? WrestleMania's coming to town? Wally Mania's coming to town? Not the goddamn Dallas Stars. Let's go, Pens. We can't lose with 7 in the stands. Now,
Hey, great haircut. Good to meet you finally.
You know, we're
Yeah,
the
I love
soft side in the chair.
I love it.
It's as simple as this, okay? You gotta have fuck you in the game.
Oh, yeah.
And if you don't, you're missing something.
I said, "Sir, if I could just speak up on his behalf, this is like the second greatest player ever." And Mario turned and looked at me and goes, "Second? Behind who?"
All 4 of those guys aren't rolling, or it's not enough to win one round. This is supposed to be a team good enough to win a cup. We're talking about one friggin' round.
Aaron Burrows told me, and he said this to Henrik Lundqvist's face at dinner. He goes, "Henke, you know how they did the renovation at the Garden for $1 billion? It's all you, bro. It's all you being in the net." $1 billion renovation at the Garden, paid for in 5 years. It wasn't because the Knicks were in the playoffs. It's because the Rangers went on all those runs, and the stud on the team, among several, was their goalie, Henrik Lundqvist.
Gino, honestly, he's one of the funniest guys you can be around, and he probably busted my chops more than anybody. Why are you so slow? You old. Like, he would look up, like, my old contracts and be like, what? No, you're no good.
I grabbed me on this was. Good hockey talk.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the FanDuel Thunderdome. On this Winter Wednesday, November 9, 2022, Hour 3 starts right now. Football is taking over the whole damn planet, and obviously we cover it every single day. To my left, your right, is a man who's a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup champion, the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, an NBA pundit, a video game shit stirrer. Ladies and gentlemen, the face of Ohio, and Ohio fuck, AJ Hall. The Toxic Table's here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here, and joining us on stage every Wednesday and Thursday, host of the Man to Man podcast and Everything DB, which will debut its most recent episode in about an hour from now. 9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler. D-Butt, great having you here, pal.
Great being here.
Now, this doesn't happen all the time.
No.
You know, we normally talk about sports stoogery in a dumbass fashion. We do that every single day, Monday through Friday, for 3 to 4 hours every single time. Nobody's expecting any true insight. Nobody's expecting any big brains. What they're expecting is just some dumbasses in a mental vacation. But today, it's a little bit different, isn't it?
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
We've had Mark Cuban on the show.
Yes.
Of course.
We've had Jim Irsay on the show. We've had Vince McMahon on the show.
Yeah.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to talk to a man whose company is currently valued at $27 billion. What? 27 of them.
My gosh.
$27 billion.
It's a lot.
Jeez.
It wasn't always worth $27 billion. No, this man's brain had to guide them through so much adversity and ideas in a business that was stale and out of touch and make it new and innovative. Ladies and gentlemen, the founder and CEO of Fanatics, Michael Rubin.
What's happening? How you guys doing?
Hey, fantastic. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us. I assume you're an incredibly busy man. Not only is your company, Fanatics Commerce and Fanatics Collectibles and Fanatics Betting and Gaming, and you own half of Lids. Now you invested in Mitchell & Ness. You're friends with every billionaire we've seen on television and we've seen in the world. Thank you for taking time out of your day to chat with us, sir. We are honored to have you here.
Listen, I just want to say, most importantly, I fit into the qualification of an equal dumbass. So you've got me. I'm ready to go. Okay. And I think I can compete with any of the best dumbasses.
Okay, well, I feel like you're one of the smartest dumbasses on earth, because I was reading a little bit about your bio here that was sent over and then on the internet. Whenever you founded Fanatics, you had a vision, basically, of making the merch business that licensed NFL and college kind of like new school. You in here it said that the old way of doing merch for these schools and teams and leagues was you had to order 9 to 12 months in advance, and you had to try to predict who was going to be a star, whose merch was going to move. So normally that led to unpredictable outcomes and a lot of merch being held in a store, overhead being high, or being out of stock of people that are hot. You innovated that. You changed the game. Fanatics gets to deal with the NFL, NBA. Everybody becomes a licensing partner of. You've changed it all. You knew this was going to happen, and now that you're sitting at a $27 billion valuation, do you look back on it and wonder how you did it, or was this the plan all along, the way you went about doing it, Michael?
No, I honestly think we're just getting started. I mean, people think I'm crazy when I say that, but I feel like we're at the beginning of the game. We have so much growth ahead of us. We're just getting started. We've certainly, we started in the what we call Fanatics Commerce, which is our merchandise business. In 2011, it was about a $250 million business. then next year we'll kind of be encroaching on almost $7 billion in the merchandise business, but we really feel like we're just getting going. The business has really been about how do we reinvent it and make it better for the fan. And by the way, there's so much more for us to do. But we do operate the flagship Fanatics site. We do operate the NFL shop, the NBA store, NHL store, Major League Baseball store, and also hundreds of individual professional and collegiate teams. But at the same time, we're globally expanding. We're building into soccer. We're building our college business more quickly. And we're finding so many ways to make it better for the consumer as well, which is what we wake up and go to bed thinking about. And you're right. The way the business worked 10 years ago is someone got hot in sports, somebody got traded, somebody won, and the manufacturer had to make the merchandise, ship it to a store, hope they got it right. Hopefully the consumers came in, and now our business is it's mostly direct to consumer, and of the direct to consumer business, about 3/4 is the internet, and then as you said, we also our partners own half of Lids. We also operate a bunch of college bookstores. We operate many venues, so you can basically find Fanatics merchandise, at many of your favorite places to shop online for sports fans.
Hey,
and that's just our first business.
Hey, yeah, I know it's an incubation period here too. We're still gonna grow on.
Incubation, man. We all got to build. We got to keep incubating.
Hey, 27 billion incubator state. Hey, congratulations. No, it's not easy at all. AJ, go ahead. Your question for Mr. Rubin.
Mike, I've seen where I'm sure you surround yourself with a lot of great people. I see Magic Johnson. Is he still like a special consultant for you guys? He's a fascinating character to me, especially what he has done in business off the court. What has he brought to you guys, and what kind of help has he given?
Yeah, he's a great board member for us. I've known him for a really long time. We actually met randomly at the next cabana in the Bahamas maybe 15 years ago, and we were always next to each other over a holiday vacation, and he became a good friend. And I wanted to get somebody who was a incredible, athlete who then really built their business. And he's been great at helping us. He's been involved with the business, formally for probably a year or two, but informally for years. And, for me, I'm a guy, I say this all the time, and people don't get this, but I barely made it out of high school. I legitimately got 780 on my SATs, actually 670 combined the first time I took it, 780 the second time, which is pretty hard to do that bad. I barely made it out. I went to college for 6 weeks. So I need smart people around me. I got to be learning from people all the time. And he's a great guy to learn from. And to be honest, I got lots of great people I learn from every day.
Hey, so why do you think you've made it? And that's like, hey, I need you to tell me why you are who you are, but you barely make it through high school. Listen, here's a real thing, because especially with what happened the last couple years where people were given an okay to kind of sit at home and chill. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you're not allowed to leave your house, actually. And they say a habit is formed in like 21 days or whatever the case is. And a lot of people, maybe the working and employing people is not as easy in some jobs because not as many people want to get out there and work. What do you think it is about you that made you made it? And is it just a work ethic that doesn't stop, and where do you think you got it from?
Yeah, so first off, I definitely have no chill. I don't know what that means. I'd be very bored with any chill. For me, as I said, I was a god-awful athlete. I was a god-awful student. I was equally as bad as an athlete. The only thing I was ever good at was work, and I loved it from the day I was a kid. Like, I've always loved business. You do things that you're good at. That's what I always kind of focused on. For me, it's come down to just a few basic things. You hit one of them. My work ethic is pretty insane. This morning, I started at 4:30 in the morning. I'll finish work 11 and 12 o'clock.
Why?
That's always. But well.
No. I thought you were going to go through your entire day. I was going to give a what as an echo in between. That's the thing we do on the show. Sorry, very dumb. Very dumb. I thought you were going to 4:30 golf, Bible. That's Mark Wahlberg. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never played golf once in my life. Actually, I played golf once in my life. For about 10 minutes. It was very embarrassing. And I went back to drinking at that point. It was a much better skill set of mine. But for me, look, what's it really come down to? One, I think you need to have common sense. That's what I don't have an educational background, but I do have pretty good street smarts. And that lets you get your strategy right. It was easy for us to figure out how to reinvent the licensed sports business? How do we reinvent the collectibles and trading card business? How do we think we can reinvent the online sports betting business? So those things that we think about deeply. And then from there, there's been a couple of things that I've always talked about my whole life. I'm pretty decent in relationships, and that's really important in life. I already see this in 2 seconds. You guys are all good relationship skill guys, and that makes people want to do things with you, and that's helped our business. And then I've had a crazy work ethic, outwork anybody, never give up, always unrelenting. And the last thing is I get great people around me. If you get really smart people around you, you get them to want to work together, which is equally as important. you're going to be pretty successful. Pick the business strategy right, work your ass off, get the right people around you, you're going to succeed.
Hell yeah. Sounds like that is the perfect recipe to become a very successful person. You said you outwork anybody around you. You better not be in the same room as Boomer Esiason or The Rock.
Yeah, that's right.
The Rock, the hardest worker in the room, every room. Do you two just run head-to-head to each other, you and The Rock?
Yeah, I actually don't know The Rock well, but I'll tell you one thing. Kevin Hart is a really good friend of mine. And I watch Kevin's work ethic, and I always say he's like one of the hardest working he's one of the hardest working, really well-known people on the planet. And he always says The Rock is just like him. So I believe from watching Kevin, who works, 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, nonstop, that probably, and he talks about The Rock in the same way. So I think we all have the same hustle. And, to me, it's fun. I'd be bored as shit if I wasn't doing it.
So hold on. So yeah, Kevin Hart, good friend of yours. We know you got tight ties with Meek Mill, Robert Kraft. That wedding, you gifted him a baby blue Bentley, I believe, a year ago or so.
Well, what I gifted him for his wedding was we actually took the bar where he met I was with Robert. We were actually going to Vegas. It's actually a great story. We were going to Vegas for the Conor McGregor Mayweather fight, and Robert said, like, Michael, I know you're going to make me do bad things to your body, to his body. So why don't we first go to a spa the weekend before and try to make ourselves healthy before we do bad things to our body? So I reluctantly agreed. We went to the Canyon Ranch in Massachusetts, and as we were pulling in, he saw his now wife, who he knew, I think, from vision and sight and a quick conversation, he was going to be madly in love with. So actually, for his wedding, what I did was the bar that we went to as their first date, we renamed it after Dana. Her last name is Blumberg, and we called it Blumberg's. For Robert and Dana, because I call Robert Blumberg in my phone. So every time he calls me, he's Robert Blumberg, not Robert Kraft. He's been begging me to change his phone to my phone to get his identity back, but it's a reminder of him. I always want to keep him tough on his edges and on his heels. So, but he's Robert Blumberg, and that we named the bar after him. So if you were in Lenox, Mass, you could go to Blumberg's, which was the bar named after Robert.
Oh, that is awesome! You literally bought the place and changed the name. Yeah, there it is. Blumberg's, Lenox, Massachusetts.
Wow.
There's the sign.
We actually didn't buy the place. We renamed it and bought drinks for everybody and food for everybody for the period of time it was renamed. But it was a good, funny, humble reminder for all of us. But it's Blumberg's now in my mind, and it'll always be.
Who did it? Al Michaels did the. No, who did the? Who did the?
Well, there were a couple of great performers. There, Elton John performed. He was one of Robert's dearest friends. Meek Mill, whose family to each of us got up and did an amazing kind of wrap up had about Robert. And then Ed Sheeran performed as well. Yes, Ed made me drink so many shots that I forgot who it was.
Who performed the ceremony? I think was it Al Michaels?
I thought it was Al Michaels
that did the ceremony.
They actually didn't get married. This was really a wedding reception, not an actual. It was a party, not the actual ceremony.
So, at what point in your life were you at one of those events? You're like, yeah, this is normal. Like, isn't that a fucking crazy, insane thing for a guy that almost didn't make it out of high school? That you're hanging out literally with all the billionaires, you're friends with everybody, and you're in there. If not just in there, you're at the top of that thing, leading the way. Is that a holy shit moment for you? And when was it, you think?
No, it's honestly not at all. Because to me, I'm just like, I'm always pushing. I'm not like a reflective person. Like, there's not a time. There's nothing I've ever done in my life where I've been like, man, that was so cool. Like, I just don't think that way. I'm always like, what's next? What do we do next? How do we do better? How do we make something for the fan better? How do we improve better? How do I get better? It's just the way I think. So I'm not like a reflective person. It's just not my personality.
So when you're sitting in there, you're at the wedding, you're like, could have been better. Maybe Elton John performs alongside Adele next time.
I'm happy for Robert and Dana that they're happily married, and I'm talking to everyone there who, I've had the honor and pleasure of, getting to know over the past several years. And, so many of these people are involved in our business. It takes a village to kind of build something. If you look at Fanatics and the way we're building our commerce business, which is merchandise, the way we're building our trading card business, the way we're building our gaming business, there's so many people involved. We have, all in about 18,000 employees now. We've got so many great partners. There's all the sports properties that work with us to build a business. So to me, I'm always just thinking about, how we can learn from each other, how we can build together. That's what I'm thinking about. And it's something like that, I'm just having great conversations.
Well, you should know that you've done good. Okay?
Yeah.
Hey, don't reflect. Don't take too much time because somebody's going to get the edge on you. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't get soft.
By the way,
don't do it.
Listen, if I get soft, I'll get a bullet in the back of my head. That's 100%.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Hey, don't even think about how awesome it is.
I'm coming for you.
Hey, don't even think about it. $27 billion valuation on a company you found and started and worked with. Don't even think about it. Hey, don't get fucking soft, Ruben. You want to get another $27 billion.
It's not happening.
Don't even think about it. Don't even have a drink and say, you know what?
Pretty fucking good for a guy that almost didn't make it out of high school and scored the lowest possible score on SAT, including the points that you get for writing your name right. Don't think about it. Don't do it, Rubin, especially at this
I
stage.
agree. The SAT was a hard accomplishment. It's hard to do that poorly. I completely agree with that.
Oh, so you're proud of yourself for that. I mean,
I feel like, I've tried to explain to my daughter why it's actually not impressive, and she needs to do great. But she says, Dad, like, you were a complete loser and did terrible. Like, so it was a one-time thing for Rubin.
well, I hope at some point you take it all in. You've done incredible stuff. Darius has a question for you. Go ahead, D-Butt.
Hey, Michael, I saw an interview with CP3 a few days ago, and he kind of talked about how intentional you were about being inclusive with the NBA players when acquiring Mitchell and Ness. You got any future ideas of doing that with the NFL, maybe with some current or former players? And then number two, two-part question. How hard was it for you to give up, your ownership stake in the Sixers to move on and obviously fully take over with Fanatics?
Two great questions. I'll do the second one first because it will help answer the first question. So for me, giving up the ownership in the Sixers was pretty obvious. It was something I had to do. The leagues have rules that say you can't take bets on your own team. You can't have players that are investors in your company. You can't have commercial relationships with the players where you have close to 3,000 relationships. You can't have agents that are investors in your business. So we were kind of violating every rule that every sports league had, and it was time for us to move on. It just became too complicated. And to be honest, Fanatics is such a big opportunity. I didn't want the Sixers to get in the way of it. That does not change my loyalty for the team. I think everyone knows not only is Josh Harris and David Blitzer, who are the two managing partners, family to me. But look, Joel Embiid and James Harden are both family to me. So I'm super committed to staying involved and helping these guys. And, I talk to, all these guys nearly daily. I think I talk to them all, all the time. So it was, for me, something that had to happen. It's the right thing for Fanatics, the right thing for the Sixers. And it doesn't change. I believe the Sixers. I'm here to help. And to be honest, if we keep it real, it's better for me now because I have no rules that I need to live by. So I like that.
So you're betting on it. Yeah, sounds like a lot of hammering.
It's not about gambling. But look, if I want to help with a free agent or I want to be involved in something that's very easy for me, I don't have to, I don't have to worry about, breaking rules. I can, you got complete flexibility. So as far as Mitchell Ness, look, when we bought Mitchell Ness, what we thought was this is this super culturally relevant brand that we wanted to partner with the people that we make our business with. So it was like really easy for me to say, hey, do this with Jay-Z, do this with Kevin Hart, do this with Bron, do this with D-Book, do this with Joel, do it with James, do it with, CP3,
right.
Do it with KD,
right.
And by the way, do it with Odell Beckham. Like, these are all the people that, like, they're helping us build our business. We're helping them build their business. So we were honored and thrilled to have them as part of it. The one thing I will say, anytime I take someone's money, I worry about it like 100 times more than if it's our own money. So I only put people into great deals. We did the first deal we actually did where we brought outsiders in was Lids. And, I actually never told the story before, but we brought, Meek, who's like a brother to me, into the deal. He made 40 times his money, got his money out like a year and a half into the deal. That brought me more happiness than it probably brought him. And so I love that. Now, by the way, that's an extraordinary situation. Probably will never happen again. But Mitchell and Ness, we thought it was really important to have, the best athletes, the best artists, great celebrities involved with the business because they're making culture. And so we wanted them to we want them to have equity appreciation in the business. So it was a really easy decision. And yes, we're going to do that stuff more. First time we ever did it was Lids. Second time we did it was Mitchell Ness. And then we got a bunch of guys that are investors in Fanatics as well. And I think, if we're all working toward the same thing, we all help each other. I also think for the players, I think, look, a lot of athletic skills on this on this discussion here. The reality
you included, pal. You included.
No, me, I'm like eating was my best skill set.
I get it.
Drinking maybe second best.
What?
That's where it stops. So the reality is this was easy for us. We want these guys involved. They're going to make the business more valuable, and we're going to do it more and more. And I think what you hear out of a lot of athletes is they're really good at making money. They're less good at saving and least good at properly investing. Yep. So if they have people they trust that want to be aligned with them, to be able to get their money to work for them is a great thing. By the way, I have friends who play sports who literally have never, who have tens of millions of dollars in the bank who've never invested a penny because they don't know who to invest with. They're nervous about it. They're uncomfortable. So to take people you're comfortable with and you can properly invest is something that I think a lot of people are doing. A guy like CP3 who's super sophisticated. And by the way, all the guys I rounded off are really sophisticated guys. They want to be in the right business deals. They want to create generational wealth for themselves, not just, get a big paycheck, pay 50% to the government, and then spend a bunch of it. They want to invest and create, value and wealth for themselves and really for their, for everyone in their family tree.
Hey, I can see why a lot of people like you, man. Listening to you chat and, deflect any sort of like notoriety is pretty cool to kind of see at a position that you're in. You said it was easy for you to give equity to the guys and want them to have a stake in it, and the athletes and everything in every business that you do. And you've talked about having street smarts, not really having good book. How come it took so long, you think, for some of these industries to change? Like, I feel like giving somebody a percentage of a company so they'll work harder and they'll enjoy it seems to be smart, especially if you're going to utilize their brand. How come it took so long, you think, for people to start doing that? And why did the business need you to change, you think?
So first of all, I think many businesses get stuck doing things the same way forever, and you need someone who's likes to break shit, likes to disrupt. Like at my core, I'm a disruptor. Like I like to reinvent things. I like to break things we're doing if they're not right. So I've got that kind of mentality. That's not a normal mentality, and so it's kind of a very entrepreneurial mentality. I think as it relates to working with the players and the other artists and
guys have been, businesses have been fucking over athletes for a long time, taking advantage of business-wise, investment-wise, everything-wise. There's been a lot of that for a long time. So, that's why I think you're so impressive, because everybody you do business with loves you still. You know what I mean?
Here's the thing. I think first of all, look, I still own a big percentage of my company, so the money doesn't make any difference to me. Like, I want to win. And by the way, you want the people around you to win, too, because then, I love, I've had this discussion with different of my friends. I'm like, I'd rather you do something that's 99% less financially meaningful to me for you because I want you to win. And I always believe in we all build each other up. So the way I look at it, I actually watched, Chris's interview a few weeks ago. He actually told me about it. I went back and watched it. It was he was so thoughtful about how important it is for players to invest in things. I thought that's my responsibility to help with that, to get more people involved. And so I think a lot of people are too traditional. I also think in reality, you guys tell me, but I think a lot of, athletes, you don't trust the boring suit that's so many rich people are they're painful, they're boring, they're I can't have there's so many people who want to spend time with me. I'm I'd rather I just couldn't spend a second, having a conversation. So if you can relate to somebody, then you find shit to do together. It's why everyone Robert Kraft is such a relatable guy to me. Everyone's how are you friends with this 81-year-old guy? He's just like a kid in an 81-year-old body. And Robert's up at 5 a.m. He goes to bed at 1 o'clock. He's on text message and email all the time. By the way, Robert Kraft, after his wedding reception that had this incredible reception, called me and said, "Where are you?" I said, "I left 10 minutes ago." He said, "Where'd you go?" I said, I said, "Little baby had his album launch party today." He said, "Where is it?" I said, "Robert, you just had your wedding reception. Go home." He said, "I'm coming to baby's party with Dana. Let's go." That's I like that youth. Here's this guy, 81 years old, just had this wedding reception with everyone in the world there, and he chooses to go to baby's, album launch party because he wanted to be there to celebrate baby. And that mentality of staying young, being relatable, that's who I am. That's not most really successful people. And I think that's what makes me think about things a little bit differently, and also, be able to do a lot of stuff with people. And by the way, it's win-win for all of us. We're all winning together, which is great.
Hell yeah. Go ahead, AJ.
Mark, last thing for me, I think I might know the answer, but any chance as you get older, you think you have to slow down? It seems like this is your life and you love what you're doing. You ever see yourself taking a step back ever?
No, I'll be dead when that happens. Look, I it's the truth. I am actually working the hardest I've ever worked and having the most fun I've ever had. I'm also learning the most. When you get to I have failures all the time. Shit goes wrong all the time. When I finish this, I'll look at my phone. There'll be 3 things that went right, 2 that went wrong. That's interesting to me because you're always learning, you're always growing. And so, why would I change that? I don't know. For me, and a lot of people won't agree with me who hear this, I think the second you retire, I think that's just a step toward death. And I'd like to live a long, fun, intellectually interesting life. And so why do I want to be on the way to dying.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not good. The road to death doesn't sound like a fun one at all. I think you're doing it just fine. Last question from me before we let you get back to your 6 text messages of either happiness or failures. Jay-Z, Bezos, and McConaughey potentially buying the Commanders. Do you guys have like a billionaire group chat that you guys all kind of talk to each other? And what do you see the future of the NFL with more of these teams probably coming up for sale? Is everybody going to be trying to get into the NFL? I mean, obviously you rattled off a bunch of reasons why you don't want to own a professional team, but do you see a lot of the big money folks like yourself getting into the NFL, and what does that mean for the NFL, you think?
Yeah, so I'm in a very unique position where Fanatics is such a big opportunity that sports ownership would interfere with the success of Fanatics, which has a chance to build a digital sports platform for billions of fans. So for me, it's not right. For most people, it's, look, there's only, there's 32 NFL teams, there's 120 professional teams, or add MLS, 150 professional teams, add soccer, maybe 200 teams in the world. It's a very scarce asset. I'd say there are a lot of people that definitely want to get into sports ownership. The NFL is an incredible business model. It's a really good business. So it's not only this incredible sport, it's also a good business. I think sports in general is a really good business. We see tons of growth. So I think, yes, you're going to see a lot of people get into it. And by the way, sports properties would be lucky to have a guy like Jay-Z as an owner. Could you imagine how much value? I look at what Jay adds to our business. I mean, I remember sitting with Jay a couple of years ago. I was talking to him about lids, and I was talking about how to make sure we keep headwear hot. He said, Michael, you're thinking about the wrong way. When you get dressed, you put on your sneakers, you put on your jeans, you put on a hoodie, you put on a hat. That's part of your wardrobe. You're not even thinking about it the right way. Here I am taking input about, we own the biggest headwear retail in the world, lids, 1,300 stores, and Jay's telling me how to think about it differently. So, sports properties would be so lucky to have, Jay as an owner. There's so many of these guys that can, add a lot of value. And I think, look, I want to see sports get younger. I want to see the ownership groups get younger. So to me, it's a good thing to have, a lot of these people that I mentioned, interested in sports ownership. And I think you keep picking up good owners. I'm partners with, Todd Bowley and the guy who just bought Chelsea is he's been an investor in Fanatics for a long time. And, it's great to see him not only own the Dodgers and part of the Lakers, but also now go out and buy Chelsea. And he's got great partners there in Clear Lake. So I think all this stuff is great for sports. It's going to make better product for fans and better businesses for, the players ultimately who get half the revenue.
Well, keep crushing it, man. We appreciate you. You're a trailblazer for people like me and us who are trying to, keep doing it in a common sense fashion while enjoying every step of the way. We appreciate your time on this busy Wednesday, sir.
Hey, fun being with you guys, and keep killing it. I know you guys are doing great, so congrats to you guys, and I appreciate the time.
Hey, where are you at? Is that your office right there?
I'm actually in my apartment in New York City right now because I had a lunch that I just finished here before.
Do we get any deals done at lunch, or I assume you're working. Yeah. What are you eating if you're not working, right? What are we doing?
I ate very little because I used to be fat. I'm trying to be less fat, and I've got from pleasantly plump to I've got actually from fat to pleasantly plump, and
husky, active husky. I
like husky, but you have muscle, and I don't really have a lot of that right now. So, but we're always getting stuff. There's no meeting that's not getting things done. That's not the way we roll.
You're the best. We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Rubin.
Yeah, Michael.
That was cool chatting with him. He's got the juice. Yeah. Rubin's got the juice.
Yeah.
He's up to 1. He's up at 5. He's sending texts. He's emailing. That's what he's saying about Kraft.
Yeah, Kraft.
Hey, he wasn't lying about Kraft though. Kraft is a cool motherfucker. You see him? I saw him playing cards in the locker room. First conversation I had with Kraft was literally about best places to vacation in the off season.
Hell yeah.
And he had some places.
Goddamn right he did.
He said he's a kid inside of an 81-year-old body or whatever. It's like one of the most successful owners in all of professional sports as well. He has the Patriot Place up there that a lot of people are modeling. It's nice to see that people can be incredibly successful innovators and also remain enjoyable, and humans, it seems like. Now, that guy's not a human anymore. He's just a working machine. He's relatable, though. He has the same interests as us, but there's not a lot of people that got that juice, and that's why he is who he is. So I appreciate him acknowledging his work ethic, but thanks for the time, dude. I assume we kept him too long. I assume you were supposed to get out of here earlier. Let's get a little.
I think he's just like that all the time.
I think so too. That's awesome.
Well, that's what it's crazy. Like when you get that rich and doesn't even ever take any time to he is operating under the assumption that he has like $40 in his bank.
Yeah, it's really nice to have these hotel rooms that he's able to stay in like New York. That's like an 11,000 square foot probably penthouse apartment, and these other houses he got in Florida and everywhere. But from there in between, he's still driving a Toyota Corolla.
Yeah, exactly.
He's running out of gas, going paycheck to paycheck. It's like that's a mental trait that not everybody has. You know, I almost told him like, oh man, I'm working so I can disappear someday, and he's like, you're retired, you're one step closer to death.
Yeah, you might as well just kill yourself.
Interesting. All right. I'm going to reframe that. I might reframe that because if you see somebody who's successful, it is smart to take what they are doing, if you're trying to be successful, and try to see how you can implement some of that into your life. I think I just took a lot away from old Michael Rubin. I fucking enjoyed that conversation a lot. Another conversation I enjoy a lot is Everything DB.
Hell yeah.
Let's go ahead and let's take 5, okay? And on the other side, let's get smarter. Let's get better.
Go.
Let's learn about some secondaries around the NFL. Let's learn about... Is music playing?
Yep. Yeah.
There it is. I didn't know if it was my thing. So we've learned that I have 3 ways to control the volume in my ear.
3.
There's this thing, the OG thing that is sending the thing. It's this thing. Then there's this thing that is the in-between thing.
That AJ fucked up.
Always. Always finger fucking the wires.
Never touch that. Never touch that thing.
Oh, is that right?
Touch the wires, never touch the box. Other than to talk back to Z.
Okay. So you have touched the box numerous times because the wires are pinned in between the fucking box and the thing, like jammed in it. You have to actually like jam them in there.
No,
they're not.
Fucking
Somebody film him. Somebody film him.
If
You-
they're
we will.
To get them in there, you have to jam them
I
in
place
there.
them right there in the little gap. I place them there so I don't step
What do
on
you
them,
do? You
pull
place
the
it by
mic cord.
grabbing the bottom and the top like you're flossing and like shove it in. This thing does not fit in there naturally. Anyways, this thing controls sound, which he finger fucks every single week. And then this thing on my hip controls sound. So there's a balance now trying to happen between, because we just figured this out,
Too
right?
many things.
Now we're trying to balance out what the proper portion is from what, because every once in a while something will be very low, and then I'll fuck with this thing, and then it's like one ear real high, and then the other one not. It's interesting. Welcome to the FanDuel Thunderdome.
Oh yeah.
That's the Thunderdome, baby.
yeah.
Big thanks to Michael Rubin for spending time with us. What's he going to do right now? Just lock down another deal?
Sounds like you might be trying to sign a free agent for the Sixers.
Did sound like he's recruiting and doing things like that.
Which is awesome. That I'm a huge fan of the Sixers. I own the team. Now, don't own the team can actually affect the team by bringing guys.
Yeah, now I'm allowed to do everything they told me I wasn't allowed to do whenever I was an owner. My friends are now running it. I am very proud of them and thankful for them. But they know if there's a little recruiting pitch that maybe they aren't allowed to provide. There's a guy whose company is worth $27 billion now that could potentially, find a plane or
Call Michael.
tickets to something or, anything you could potentially
ball
need.
caps from Lids.
Listening party. The baby.
Anything you could potentially need, You want to be a Sixer? You want to just have a plug to what? Everything?
Yeah. You want to be friends with Jay-Z?
Something about
I can make that happen.
Jay-Z being an owner would be sweet, and I would like to hear his album after he owns an NFL team. Because whenever, he got the Nets, it was I'm a stone's throw away from where I used to throw around bricks. It's only right that I throw around Knicks or something like that when he bought the Nets. Like, him being an NFL owner and dropping an album afterwards would be fucking awesome.
Him and Bezos on the cover.
Yes.
Cole Beasley.
Yeah, Bezos with his shirt
Bezos
off.
would be flex.
Yeah.
Cole Beasley maybe gets a feature.
Obviously.
All right, let's take 5 and let's do everything DB on the other side.
do it.
Let's get better at football.
Oh yeah.
Be a friend, tell a friend. Secondary coverage that you don't get to hear anywhere else is coming in 5. Take 5. Fumbling after running 50, 60 yards, 46 yards to give their Chargers a first down and the ball back again. This is a tough series. 42 seconds left in the fourth quarter, 17-17. Old buddy's striding out. He's going to score a touchdown. No, he's not. His thigh is going to knock the ball out of his hand.
Drops the ball.
See ya.
Oh my lord.
He was about to get stripped right there, too.
I would like to say to old buddy there, yeah, it looked like there's potential punch coming from the backside regardless. We understand you're a much better athlete than we are. We understand you're better at football than us. We understand at this moment you thought you were scoring a fucking touchdown to beat the Chargers.
Yeah.
With that being said, you can't fumble it with nobody touching it but your forearm.
The best part is, too, he He did return it to out of field goal range, but literally the next play, Justin Herbert just right back into field goal range.
And then Cameron Dicker out of the University of Texas kicks his second game winner this year with 2 different teams, in which he has only played for 2 different teams. This guy's fallen into the kicker carousel and has showed up both times, both for the Eagles and for the Chargers. Excited to see what he does going forward.
This is my first time in Athens, and I'm going to say this place is glorious, absolutely beautiful. There it is. There it is. We had a little drizzle earlier, and you know where I come from. Rain makes corn, corn makes whiskey. They make whiskey in Tennessee, so I think the rain is making the whiskey, what? That's being drank all over. Good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. Give me the Volunteers, Luke Bryan. Sorry about it, Elder. Tennessee, a team of destiny in Luke Bryan's fight. This is the first time with this rivalry. Both teams have been good in a long time. What was your message to the team this year, and essentially an elimination game this week?
Well, hunt with a purpose. That's the biggest thing, is we want to go out and play aggressive. They're coming to our house. You know, we had to go to their place last year, and it was wild and crazy. We wanted to be crazy today. We want them to affect the game, and our guys know our best game's ahead of us. So we're hoping it's this one.
Hell yeah, Coach. Hell yeah.
Legs crossed.
Alan Ryan. What do we have here? Look at that. Holy shit. Go for it. Maloney from this man's grill. No. It's on his nose. It's on his nose. No, it's everywhere. Bobbing from Snowball. Oh, my God. Bad sandwiches going everywhere.
Last week against NC State.
Oh, no, Bear. Oh, no. No, Bear, a graphic just came up on the screen.
Here's the deal.
I didn't know you had 0-3.
Here's the deal. I'm an idiot. I'm terrible.
What's your column record? That's all they need to know.
33-16.
33-16.
And that's what I'm saying. All these
Dominating.
games early in the week that I'm writing off, I'm doing great. By the time I get to Saturday, I'm like talking myself off, picking terrible games. It's terrible. I'm doing a terrible
Get out of your own head, Bear.
I'm a good handicapper and a bad better.
Not a lot of people see the column.
That's what bothers me.
Their offense is pretty sophisticated. Here you have a classic bunch set, crack toss to the right. Pin guy, pin and pull. Running back gets out behind. Darnell Washington, 6'7", 270. Pick up 15 to 20 yards. Remember, the tight end was lined up right behind the tackle there. Let's flip the side. Same exact formation. What are they going to do? Crack toss, pin and pull. Fake the toss, and it allows a high-low route, which Florida has to operate on, and the best tight end in the country is wide open. It's that type of stuff that they do that the anonymous coach pointed out, that it's high-level football that they've been able to do against everybody.
Attaboy, kid. Nice. Nicely done.
I got
First
a little
tape.
film.
First tape right there. First tape.
I did some football talk.
Come on, look, I did it.
Up next on PMSN 14, how a local man won thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars from the world's #1 sportsbook this past weekend. With more, here's Nikki Lucine.
Hello and welcome to this special investigative report. What was once considered dirty and dangerous, sports wagering, now regulated and legalized, has many of us dreaming big. We're all searching for the big one, a wager of massive proportions. One of PMI's own, Boston Connor, was able to accomplish just that this weekend. We sat down with the brazen member of the toxic table himself, just to find out how it all happened.
Yeah, it's been about 3 years or so of me placing these bets going all the way back to 2020, and you never think that every single guy on your parlay is going to score 2 touchdowns, let alone a same game parlay plus, but somehow, some way it happened. And I'm just relieved that telling people over and over and over again that plus 155,000 odds bets can hit finally did hit.
The wager consisted of 2 same-game parlays, combined to create a same-game parlay plus.
Devontae Adams, everyone said he stunk after last week because he only had 1 catch for 2 yards, so I figured Devontae's pretty good at football. He'll score 2. Travis Etienne, he was just kind of like, Etienne's playing well. He's never scored 2 touchdowns. You might as well just throw him in there just because, it. Austin Eckler, he always scores 2 touchdowns. And then Cordero Patterson, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he's just coming off the IR, and I figure when they get to the goal line, they'll give it to Cordero, and they did. So that's kind of why I picked those 4. There's no real rhyme or reason, but yeah.
We did the math to calculate just how much of an investment this actually was. 50 total weeks at a median bet amount of $25 was $1,250 in 2+ touchdown parlays with a net of $26,750 after hitting this same game parlay plus.
Really? Holy shit.
What do you plan to spend the remaining winnings on?
Sunglasses and bubblegum, maybe cigarettes, I don't know.
Can this maniacal magic man maintain his heater? For now, he's been placed in charge of PMI's precious Super Boost for the next primetime matchup. Until next time, good night, good morrow, good luck, and good fortunes.
Guess what day it is?
What's that?
What?
It's Wednesday, so that's that's Tone's Twisted Tea Top 10 Switcheroo Graphic Wednesday.
Yeah. Switcheroony.
So as we started it last week, we showed the college football playoff top 10. Everyone has to use the hashtag PMS Twisted Tea CFB.
There it is.
There it is.
Hashtag PMS Twisted Tea CFB.
Let's dive in. 2 Big Ten teams in the top 4. Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, TCU, Tennessee, who had the same team beat them as the number 6 team, Oregon, LSU at 7-2, USC 8-1, Clemson 8-1, Alabama 7-2. A lot of people have a lot of questions all around this thing. Tone, how many teams' rankings do you disagree with in the top 10?
Same as last week, actually, 2. So last week I had, what was it? Clemson was 4 and Michigan was 5. I didn't agree with that. I said those 2 should be switched. Guess what? Clemson lost. They proved me fucking right.
How about that?
Michigan, obviously in the middle of a run in which they're going to have to play Ohio State last game of the season.
Yes.
So 2 and 3 are going to handle each other, we assume,
Yes,
out of the top 4. Now, if everybody ends up with 1 loss and Michigan and Ohio State have 1 loss, will somebody in the committee be able to talk people into getting 2 Big Ten schools as opposed to 2 SEC schools into the college football playoff? That'll be the discussion down the road. This week there is 2, though, that Tone Diggs does not agree upon, and I would not want to be a part of this fucking committee at all.
No.
At all. There's a chance now if LSU, who just beat Bama, makes a run to the SEC championship, they beat Georgia. Okay, so LSU beats Georgia, wins the SEC. You assume they're going to go to college football playoff. They're the SEC champion.
Yeah.
Is Georgia, who now only has 1 loss, going to go in? Yes. Okay, then what does that say about the Big Ten? What does that say about the Pac-12, who will have a 1-loss team in there? LSU will have 2 losses in there. And now it's going to get ugly. Should have never been 4 fucking teams. I've said this every week on game day, and I feel like I sound like a broken record and an asshole, but I do enjoy the fact that I was not a part of game day when they decided that 4 teams was the right answer. All they said was, this is better than BCS, this is better than BCS. It is, but just because you make a little bit, why wasn't this thing open so that at least all the champions couldn't make it in there? It makes no sense, AJ. You got to like where Ohio State's sitting, even though they have not played their best game yet. 40-mile-an-hour wins last week. Can't judge them off that. They still got a double-digit win. But the Ohio State team hasn't really clicked fully yet either. They're going to have to do that against Michigan, I think, with how Michigan's playing, AJ.
Oh yeah, Michigan's coming to town, so they're gonna. It's a revenge game from last year. Michigan beat them up, so I think it'll be. Hopefully, everything goes well up until that for both teams.
I am getting updated my year. UCLA is actually 9, not Clemson, I believe.
Oh, so they may be twisted.
I don't think that's.
Is it?
I don't think that's true.
Zito just said that in my ear.
Was that the CFB number 9, or is it the other?
No, CFP is the only one that matters.
Yeah.
There's a coach's one too, right, or something?
This is ESPN's top 5. You got to go to the CFP. This is ESPN's rankings. There's an AP ranking.
Yeah.
This is the college football playoff ranking.
LSU, 8, 9, Bama, 10, Clemson. No, Bama and Clemson
are switched.
Yeah.
Swapped.
So Bama's 9, Clemson's
Yes.
10.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is wrong, but it isn't UCLA in there. Okay, we'll get that fixed. Obviously. Was that on purpose?
So is that what Tony?
Is that what Tony? Is that the ones?
I did not reveal my twist to the graphic makers yet. So.
Tony's so freaking twisted, it's seeping into everybody else, and now everybody's twisted.
So there's an ESPN ranking, there's an AP ranking. The only one that matters is the CFP one.
Correct.
That comes out every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, ESPN with Reese, Herbie, Bear, Joey Galloway, McElroy was on there last night.
Yep.
David Pollock stops in there. Dez? No, I don't think Dez. Dez and I didn't know what day it was.
Correct.
That was a full conversation on the show. Still going.
But yeah, use hashtag PMS Twisted TCFB. Let us know which 2 you think I have twisted or I think will be twisted. If you want to get a little twisted, 5% ABV Twisted Teas. What are we talking about? Tune in Friday for the answer.
Have to have that graphic right whenever we're doing this.
Yep.
If it's dependent upon the graphic, we'll get that figured out going forward, obviously. Who knows? I should have probably checked it out beforehand and got it good, too. I think the thing about the College Football Playoff Committee is this thing could be completely different next week.
Yes,
damn right.
A lot of changes. I mean,
a
lot of changes from one week to the next. Tennessee drops out of the top 4. They might become the second team since the college football playoff has started in 2014 to be a number 1 team and not make it into the college football playoff. The only other team was Mississippi State the first year that the college football playoff started in 2014. Every other number 1 that has been ranked in the first CFP poll has made to the college football playoff. Now Tennessee's out of it. Michigan, Ohio State still got to play each other. Tennessee seems to have a clear road to end up with only 1 loss. But how will it unfold? The drama of college football shall continue. And hashtag PMS
Twisted Tea CFB.
Hell yeah.
You can win because of it.
To your point, they did put TCU at 4, though, so if TCU wins out.
They're in. Because my original statement was them at 7. They got no shot getting there, even if they win out. Them at 4, they win out. They can't move them.
That's right.
Can't move them. Like Ohio State has not looked better than Michigan, I think a lot of people would say. But they were at 2. They won by double digits. They're not going to move them out of there. If number 1 wins, Georgia wins next week, and it's by 2 scores, they're not going to move out of number 1, even if they have another Kent State game where it doesn't look good. They're still going to be one. Ohio State, you're like locked in there almost until we think. We don't know. But it feels like that's how they're viewing it. You're locked in until you kind of lose. And good for TCU making a run at this whole thing.
Yeah, if LSU runs the table, like you said, and they beat Georgia in the SEC championship, does Georgia get in as the 4 seed or the 3 seed, or does LSU get in as the 4 seed or the 3 seed?
LSU would definitely get in. If LSU wins the SEC championship, they would definitely get in.
It'd be the winner of Ohio State and Michigan would probably be 1, and 2 and 3 would be Georgia and LSU, so they don't play each other again.
Yeah, and then
TCU's out.
Yeah.
But
then if Tennessee
and
wins
Pac-12's out.
It's going to make people sick to their stomach.
People are going to be so pissed
when Iowa wins the fucking Big Ten championship, and they're forced to be put in at 8-4.
In what? They're going to be forced to be put in what? The Outback?
No, the CFP playoffs. They're going to be the 4 seed.
Who? Iowa?
That's right. They win the Big Ten championship. The committee's hands will be tied. They will have to put them in.
Big Ten, second best conference out of the Power 5.
Conference of Champions. They will be forced. Their hands will be tied.
They beat the winner of Ohio State.
Michigan. We'll be waiting for them.
I was sitting there.
And guess what?
Bring it to Indianapolis.
That's right. Played Ohio State a couple weeks ago. We were up 7-0.
Game started 0-0.
It did. Now, granted, Ohio State rattled off about 62 unanswered, but we'll be prepared for that. That's in Indy.
And Ferentz's offense is doing a lot more now than they were then.
That's right. Yeah.
Tough to beat a team twice.
It is.
Bingo.
Well said. I know you're fucking shaking in your boots, AJ. You don't want to see the Hawks in Indy.
AJ, you like Ohio State? What's going on? They haven't performed. I don't think all 3 phases have come together yet.
They've been all right. Their defense is much improved from last year. Jim Knowles, new D coordinator, is a stud. C.J. Stroud can slang it. They got plenty of running backs. They've been banged up a little bit. Their number 1 receiver's been banged up all year. Well, obviously Marvin Harrison Jr. comes in, and look at this guy.
He might be the best
pick, he looks like.
Yeah, he might be the best wide receiver in college football. I think he is. Hold on, here is the correct top 10, just so we have it.
There we go.
There we go. All right, so this is the one.
Okay.
This is the one. Take a screenshot right now. Tweet hashtag PMS Twisted T CFB. And which two rankings do Ton Diggs not agree with?
Exactly.
Here we go.
Good luck out there.
Good luck. Get him. Happy hunting.
Have you seen AJ's outfits on Fridays by any chance?
Yeah, I see him wearing that tweed jacket. He looks so cool, dude. Little varsity jacket you wear.
Yeah, we don't know how he already had it.
I didn't already have it. Bruce just brings it to me, and I put it on. Say, here we go. We're committing to this.
Bruce, your little lackey, huh? Brings you a jacket.
No, he goes over there. Where's my jacket? Where's my jacket? Where are the sunglasses? Zito, where are the sunglasses?
So what is it? You want to be the face of
Exactly.
Twee? Is that what you want to be the face of the Twee?
I like to support the cause and what we're doing with Diggs. I like Diggs' little segments, so I like to bring a little juice.
Hell yeah, we appreciate it. You haven't been able to make a single shot in that tweed jacket though, huh? Is that
Probably never will, but we'll keep trying.
Debo made a shot earlier.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Debo, we apologize. We had to go through that. Twisted Tea, brand new. I enjoy this. I've enjoyed the college football run that we've been on this year.
It's fun following.
Yeah.
I was indifferent about it. Would watch game day to kind of keep up with it, so I knew if I had to get into a conversation, I knew who was what. But I'm enjoying the fucking. It's bananas.
You picked a good season because
It is banana. College football is bananas.
Yeah, it's
But
been
you get
very
to see the
exciting.
best part of college football. You get to see like the pageantry and the fans and the history and like how people are so diehard in the band. You get to see what makes college football so cool.
Yeah, the spectacle of it all that you have to take into it. When you're judging college football, you have to judge all of it. You have to take in all of that. Now, there are some schools that don't have it, and I apologize to those schools for not getting to experience it. But me getting to experience these places with the band, with the fathers, been going. We've been taking photos at this. Like, it is awesome. But also, teams will just not show up.
Yep.
Teams will just not like out of nowhere, boom. And then this team that was dead, all of a sudden, they rattle off 2-3 straight. And it's like, wait, is it like LSU, for instance?
Yeah.
LSU is completely dead. How about Oregon? Oregon first week. Bo Nix stinks. This guy's taking his same shit from Auburn, taking it out to the Pacific Northwest. They got no chance. That was the first game. He and old Cuzzy Lanning were together. Maybe they took a little bit to maybe build a little camaraderie. They've been on a rocket ship. That motherfuckers might make it in the college football playoff after week one. Nobody could have expected that. It's just like college football is very unexpected. Tough to pick games, I will say. Publicly.
Very hard.
Publicly have to do it. It's tough to pick the games on what's going to happen, but it's been fun to follow along. We appreciate Twisted Tea for joining us because I believe they're a massive part of college football. I believe that's the Home Depot, Twisted Tea, and
Coke.
Cheez-It is big.
Allstate.
Allstate, the Good Hands team.
Oh, Dr. Pepper, excuse me.
And yeah,
Dr.
Dr.
Pepper
Pepper with the chest pass.
Yeah. Who's the Heisman? What?
Nissan.
Yep.
Very. So we appreciate Twisted Tea. Thank you.
Thank you, Twee.
They are good Heisman commercials. You know what else is just incredible content? It is what we've been waiting for until the 3 o'clock hour, because whenever the clock strikes 3 on a Wednesday, we know what that means.
That's right.
Yep.
It means we're going to get smarter. We're going to get better. We're going to become not only better pundits and analysts, but better people as a whole, because we're going to find out why things happen that nobody else gets to know about. Ladies and gentlemen, with the 10th episode of the highly acclaimed series, Everything DB, 9-year NFL vet, former corner, safety, and nickel in the NFL, Darius J. Butler.
Oh, let's go. Week 10 already. That's crazy.
Damn.
Let's start. All right. Let's see right here. I'm blocking it right now, actually. But being an athlete, this is actually a good coverage, a good rep by these guys playing this coverage, which is quarters coverage down here, quarter, and then you got the half coverage up here. Heineke kind of under pressure, closes his eyes and throws this downfield. But as you'll see as this play unfolds, there's one person on the field not being an athlete. And that's the guy right there in stripes. Got lost, man. So you got the backside safety, deep half, plays. If you run it back early from the wide cop again, plays this half perfectly. All the vertical routes kind of die down, leads him right into the overhang and helping on this deep route. And he's in great position to go and pick this ball off. But the back judge right now, he's like, oh, shit, how do I get out of this? He should have just came back towards the line of scrimmage, got out of the way, but instead he catches this, rolls over, and scores. Watch the ref gets up. he probably has a heart attack.
This is a pick, probably, huh?
This is a pick for sure.
This is a game changer, career changer.
So that's
I don't know if the moxie on Heineke would let this be a pick.
No, pause. He's timing that up. He's counting his steps at this point. He's trying to get either way. That's your natural body position where you go to protect yourself. So he's going to drop his shoulder. He hits him, and just watch the panic in him as he rolls over. So he hits him, and if he keeps playing, you'll see him roll over like. No.
Don't catch up, please. Did he?
Sorry, so that's tough, man. That's tough stuff. So be an athlete, but that would have been on the good clips, but it ended up on the bad.
Did he
clips.
get up and signal touchdown after?
He didn't want to, but he was, fuck, that's sick.
I am so sorry.
But this is another thing you're going to see week in and week out. Slot fades, right? Slot fades. You probably hear people mention it. And it's a tough route to defend as a defender because what offenses do typically is they put one of their best receivers in this slot formation. This is really him lining up at X. And you got this running back out here lined up at 1. But you got Justin Jefferson here lined up in the slot. And that, as this DB, not only do you have to cover the inside route, but now when he lines up here, he has so much space out here to the sideline. Kirk Cousins is going to see pressure, feel pressure. It's almost a zero look, but he kind of drops back and ends up kind of like this low hold defender. So it's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that ends up pressuring. And they're going to almost get home, but he's going to make a great accurate throw under pressure to his best receiver. And once again, he gets on those toes, on 2-5's toes, and he has so much room, so much space. You'll see it from the back copy to throw this ball. It was obviously a great ball under pressure, knows exactly where he's going.
Got his wind knocked out of him.
Yeah. Look at all that space that he has to throw to the outside, hit him in stride under pressure. So great, obviously, play design, putting Jefferson in there. But this is a tough route to defend that slot fade.
What's he supposed to do, get hands on him or what?
I mean, that's tough. You're off. So typically in this position, when you're sending, because they only send 5, but they still get home. But if this is a zero pressure, you're thinking this is 3rd and 7 also. So you're kind of, all right, let me hang around these sticks. But when pressure is getting home, you're expecting either a slant, quick slant, a quick out, or a fade ball. So it's tough. That's one of the best receivers in the league for a reason. He gets on his toes, just run past him, and it's a great ball. Great execution.
Kirk knew he was going to him when? Immediately, you think?
I mean, yeah. Once you get this alignment, and he knows he has 18 here, and just by alignment, he knows like the safety's all the way on the other side of the field, so he's not going to get middle of the field help or deep, it's nobody to help him. This has to be a one-on-one. So when you line up in empty as an offense, you're going to get answers pre-snap. You're going to get answers quick. It's hard to disguise when teams line up in empty. And defenses, AJ obviously would notice, defenses going in every week, you have a game plan for empty. Like, all right, when they go empty, we're going to go cover 2. When they go empty, we're going to go 0. We're going to go 3. And then maybe you switch it up at some point. So Kirk knew pre-snap exactly where he was going.
Hey, throw this one out, AJ. This is Jack Del Rio, too,
Yeah, that's right.
Your guy.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
What if they brought, there's 6 up there.
Yep.
I got you. There's 6 showing at the line. If all of them come, they got a free runner. Obviously, this is a play too, though. With that inside fade, Kirk can kind of backpedal and buy a little time and still put it up for him.
Yep, absolutely. So if the guy who have number 4 on him, I think that's Curl. If he just comes, like AJ said, they probably get home a step quicker. But they kind of drop him in there to take away this quick crosser, take away a quick throw. But as a DB, if we're going to blitz, I'd rather you send everybody. Just send the gas and let me figure it out on the back end. But Kirk does a good job. He's already looking at his target. He knows exactly where he's going. He does a good job of actually putting the ball, knowing you're going to get hit anyway, but putting the ball out there to where only 18 can catch it or it's going to be incomplete pass.
Hey, remember, Kirk has said on the record, if I die, I die. So I don't think he's ever lacked courage. I mean, he was sitting in there. He lost his wind there. He said he was moaning, and Payne said, "You'll be all right." As he was walking by him, they get the win over the Commanders. Close game, but this is something that you just got to make a play. I guess that's the expectation.
It's a big 3rd down. This is in the 4th quarter, so this is obviously a huge play. Now, this is great play design from Mike McDaniel because you're going to put this middle linebacker in the bind. I'm sure AJ's been in this position a lot. But he's going to shift. He's going to motion this fullback up to the end of the line of scrimmage, and then they're going to have a play-action run fake. And what this fullback is going to do is he's going to crack this D in, and then that's going to put him in a situation where once he sees that crack, to him, he knows, shit, I got to replace. I got to get somewhere to fill a lane in the run game. So you see the crack here, fake run, And now, obviously, it's a play action. So where you would want him is to be able to drop back and kind of get some depth there. And then for this backside safety, this is your number one receiver. You got to be able to push. Once this boot action is happening with Tua back here, you got to be able to push and get over there and help on this guy, right? This is your one guy. This second vertical going through there is going to be on that cover 2. They're playing cover 2 on the back end. It's going to be on that cover 2 corner. But great play design. Tua's going to get out here on the edge. And as you can see, the play action fake works. You got Tyreek Hill here, and you got Waddle right behind him. And it's obviously a huge gap there. Makes a great accurate throw. But it started with the play design. It started with putting 57 in this bind, which you can see probably better from the tight copy.
Are these the 2 hardest receivers to cover on the same team as far as from a DB standpoint?
Yeah, they're so fast. And like as a DB, as a safety, wherever you are, your typical landmarks that you go in every week, like it have to change because they move. You feel it. They just move differently. It's one thing to see them on film. I played against Tyreek Hill, I think once. It's one thing to see a guy like that on film, and then when you see him in real life, it's like different. Probably like, I'm sure, AJ, you probably faced Randy Moss before. Like you see Moss on film, stride, in his prime, but then when he's actually on the field with you, like this dude a human.
It's different.
So it's like two Bugattis out there moving for sure. But AJ, let me get some of your input from the tight copy.
See the middle reader? Is 57 the middle reader there?
I believe he's going to, this Tampa. So they bump over after this motion. What is this, a boss over?
Boss, bow away, boss too. Yeah.
What does that mean?
This is 21 personnel.
Boss strong, bow away. Like you boss strong, so they're bumping strong. If you bow away. Like if they went weak.
What does BO mean? Away. Bump over?
Whatever. I don't know what it stands for. It's a good question.
Bump over strong, bump over away, or no?
I remember that was Chuck said it last week. He said bump away weak, but then it's still BO. It's still bow. So whatever. Wow. So they're bossing over to the.
This is how it's always been.
Yeah, this is how it's always been. All right. So it's 21 personnel. So you're thinking, 21 personnel. Coming out of the huddle, you're probably thinking run, tight end backside, 2 receivers front side, and then him, and then. So how would you play this, AJ?
Well, now you know the outcome.
Pre-snap, of course, When you know the outcome, it's easier sitting here in an air-conditioned room. But I would take one step back, so I'm like 6 yards at the snap. If you're the middle reader, a lot of coaches will tell you, like, you're not secondary run defender, but you're not expected to go up there immediately. Like, you should have to wrap over the top, or if the guy's going to knock it back to you, you're going to be a step late on that run fake. So right away, you're screwed right here if you're 57 because they are showing good run action right in your face.
Was he the backup too? Because Roquan just got traded.
He's a rookie. He's still going that way, AJ. We can't win with it, AJ.
Can't have it.
What's he doing, AJ? Tell him to keep his fucking eyes up.
I will tell you, this guy has a lot of heart, though.
Yeah, if he hands that ball off,
young
obviously got fit. But now it's all shit. And then obviously, you got Waddle coming behind him. Good play design, though. Good play design. Good accurate throw from Tua.
I would like to let 57 know me talking shit there is not serious.
We're just joshing.
Because what a nightmare situation, because he has to think, this is all happening so quick. That's why what you guys do on the field is so fucking stupid. The reactions, if you take one false step, he literally just one step the wrong way right there. That one.
Yeah.
That's the one that just completely fucked up.
Hey, that's Tyreek too, right? That's Tyreek.
Yep, that's Tyreek in the slot, and then you'll have Waddle.
Can you run it back, Pat? If you run it back, Tyreek, he pauses on him, he gives him his little stutter. It looks like he's going to try to crack him. So the backer thinks that, he's going to crack me here. I got to get underneath it. See ya.
Oh, yeah, because he was trying to get ready.
Bracing himself for it.
Good job by that. Good job by Tyreek, man.
Yeah. That's football IQ stuff that won't get talked about whenever you talk about
good fake by Tua, too.
Yeah, I was
good fake by Tua.
Yeah, that is just a great play call, and that play action.
Can't see the ball. Yes, fucking musician.
And also, this is a fucking good shit. Can't do it there.
You going back to look at this lineman pulling, too. You see that guy out in space, like, I got to get downhill now.
You look at the guard pulling or whatever, but also
fullback cracking down.
Look at the running back.
Yeah, Wilson.
That's good. You could see how a ball could potentially fucking it's full commitment by everybody here.
And Wilson had kind of been chewing them up on the ground too, so it's
had to play it.
Good play, Mike.
Good execution, guys.
Stop it. Good throw. Good accuracy.
Sorry about it, 57.
Sorry about it.
Smart with that little motion pre-snap too, D. But just to get him thinking, like just move the fullback out to make it.
You go to the
wide
on
that side, just to get you. You let me boss. Oh wait, here we go. Ball snap. Oh no, what am I doing?
Let it rock.
I'm also getting a lot of reports. Jackie Boy has watched this play 500 times, so he won't make this mistake again.
Okay, thank you.
That's tough. That's tough right there.
That is tough.
Good play.
It's a good play. Good play right there.
Hey, they're gonna get you. not the Colts. We didn't score any.
No.
We had negative 2 yards. I mean, it seems like this play actually gets you yards regardless. It's like putting your name on the SAT, which I think Michael Rubin didn't do well.
Yeah.
Get like 400 points. You just run a couple of these plays, you're going to get yards guaranteed. Got to have weapons, though, because everybody's got to respect everything. Is that kind
you
of the
still
case?
got to have weapons. Play design obviously helps, but players make the difference. Those guys obviously moving so fast. And then on the defense, not only a Mike linebacker, but that backside safety. Like once your threat, like that's your number one threat. Once he moves, like everything should move when you have a boot or sprint action. All of the zones move, so you got to be.
What's that called? Plaster.
Plaster is more so like the quarterback. The routes have been ran, and now Big Ben used to do this a ton. Like he'll go and you get home, and he just throws a guy off, and now the receiver just start to run in the backyard shit, and then you got to just find them, fuck the zone, and just find them and play.
This is just mirroring quarterback.
Yeah, this is mirroring quarterbacks, and then that linebacker, he's not going to make that play. But it's really his job to make him have to put more. You saw he just put that on the line.
Yeah.
But if he force him to put more arrow in it, and if that backside safety is actually squeezing, it's a potential that he makes that play. But I mean, that was obviously a big area that.
Connor, we knew that. We knew that linebacker is trying to get a little. His job in this particular role is literally just to get a little bit more air onto the ball, so that the 4-2 guy in the back can maybe close on it and sign a touchdown. That's the type of fucking planning happening in the NFL, though. Like, that's the type of shit that's going on. That's why I think, like, people, whenever you watch games, and if you see bad football, you see bad football. But, like, when teams are going, the amount of fucking, like, detail-oriented structure thought that is going into every single play is, I think, should be talked about more. That's why I enjoy this type of shit.
Well, and I think Debo chose to play either last week or 2 weeks ago with the Vikings against the Lions, and the guy was just lined up half a step inside.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy how minute the
Leverage.
details are, but
all
it's
leverage.
the difference in a game.
Leverage, alignment. Leverage is always
That's from
critical.
Super Bowl champion to being fucking top 5 pick.
Yeah.
That type of stuff. It's crazy.
It's insane.
Speaking of Super Bowl champion, so we got obviously the Rams end up losing this
Not
game.
this year.
But you got Cooper Kupp in here, the Triple Crown winner. Once you got tight end, receiver.
AJ. Fucking.
Sure it is. Whatever. Fuck it. Cover 3 on
What is
defense,
AJ
right?
doing in the middle of everything, DB? Did you hear that?
He probably got some ashes, man.
What is that all about, AJ?
Every week.
Little housekeeping.
Yeah, well, wait till after the show, dirtbag. Do it.
So we got empty on here. Once again, once you get it empty, you got to get answers pre-snap. What's it down in this? I think it's second and 11. So empty, you got Cooper Kupp in the slot here. And now so we've seen a bunch of Eagles clips, and on defense, what they do on defense is they carry their seams, right? So these seams go up and out, you carry them as the flat defender. In this true zone cover 3, it's more of a landmark defense. A lot of coaches in the league will call it like high school cover 3, where you're getting to landmarks. So as a curl flat defender, you're going to get out here and kind of get into your landmark. That deep third defender, instead of being like a man principle on that number 1 receiver out here, because we know the flat defender's carrying number 2, so he's staying with number 2. Now, as this deep third defender, you have to split the vertical. If these guys run vertical, you're responsible for both of them, right? And then obviously as a post safety, it's your job to be on the landmark and get a good read and break off this quarterback. But you're responsible. If both of these guys go vertical, you got to split them. Same thing for this deep third defender up here. So if you let this play, you'll see he does his job, he sinks out. But this guy, he kind of pause it. He's going to get caught up with this number 1 tight end who runs a comeback route. He almost treats it like a 3 carry or a 3 match, when he's supposed to continue to run.
3, you're talking cover 3.
Cover 3.
Cover 3 match.
So he's playing it like number 22 is going to continue to run with Cooper Kupp, and that way he would be able to play this comeback. But since he's dropping Cooper Kupp and just getting to his zone, he's pointing. See how he's pointing? Cool. You end up with the receiver wide open up the seam. Now, this guy is trying to do a better job of it, but he's not getting to his midpoint either. So we used to have midpoints in New England. Hey, 2 yards outside of the numbers. That was your landmark as a deep third defender. And that way,
what's he saying here? Man.
2-2?
Yeah.
He's just kind of pointing. You know, when you're in zone defenses, you're just pointing, you're talking. Sometimes it's verbal, sometimes it's nonverbal communication. But he's expecting that corner to continue to run with him. And if Stafford was to throw this ball out here, he was just expanding.
That's on him.
Yeah, that's on him. That's on this flat defender, same as it would be up here. So you see he's trying to do it. He's trying to split these 2 verticals. I think he's a little too wide. But he's getting caught up on this comeback route, so that's a blown coverage, a blown assignment, an ME.
And this is just miscommunication.
And this is, I mean,
right?
this is the best player on the team. Like you don't want this situation for that play. And if you see this from the tight copy, Stafford gets a bad snap here. but then he runs and fucking scores a touchdown. But Stafford to get a bad snap here, and he still catches the snap, looks the safety off to his left, and then goes. He knows exactly where he's going with the ball. So this is still high-level quarterback play, but defenses, we can't make it that easy.
What do you think about Jalen Ramsey? Just absolutely.
Well.
Oh, that's one of the things you say amongst probably each other. Like you come off, he made the play, take his helmet off. You think, but I mean, it's football. Sometimes you got to go back out there and get another stop. It's just football, and actually, Jalen Ramsey.
What he's saying is valid. What he's saying is valid.
Yeah, but that's not something you say to somebody outside of the meeting.
Now you bringing up that question with me knowing what play is coming next. Fascinating.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I did
kind of not knowing what play is coming next.
Our team's starting to realize that, like with the Rams, like, hey, they only throw it to Cooper Kupp. They don't complete passes to anyone else. Yeah, like how does this shit continually happen when he is literally the only guy who is making any explosive?
Yeah, hold on.
plays?
Answer this question. How, whenever they say, well, they're going to make them play left-handed, they're going to take away their. What does that mean normally? And is that what the Bucs did all game except for that particular play? Because Kupp is their only weapon.
No, it was other plays where he was wide ass open too. It's just when you put Cooper Kupp and that was, it didn't matter who was running that seam right there. That could have literally been anybody if you drop them in coverage. But typically in zone coverages, if you run a zone coverage against a quarterback and a receiver that are on the same page like Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp, they're going to be open. They're going to complete the ball. It's just about limiting the yak yardage after catching the ball when you're playing zone coverages. Now, if you're playing man coverages,
you're trying to eliminate them.
Which I would try to play as much as possible against the Rams. That's when we have a guy assigned to Cooper Kupp, and then we got another guy assigned to help him. So I may be playing them, and hey, Darius, just don't let him win outside. And then I know I have help inside. But it's always easier said than done. And then you have other things you have to worry about within trying to stop an offense. But you can't, regardless of who this receiver is, this can't happen. I mean, this guy's wide the fuck open too.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think he's doing a great job of splitting. So I don't think either corner is doing a good job right here splitting the difference between those two verticals.
Is this a cover 3 beater?
Yes.
This is a cover
4 verts they're cover 3 beater because you got one guy responsible for 2 verts. So unless you get a great break out of his post, you saw from the back copy how Stafford moved him, that little movement just opens it up even more.
D-Butt, are you a bit surprised, like with 22s in the slot there, I don't know how they're supposed to play their cover 3, but if it's true spot drop cover 3, I know pre-snap, if I'm walked out, I'm the curl flat defender, that corner, whoever it may be, I got to tell him, hey, man, I will be under that comeback. I'm going to drive to the sticks, almost to the sideline to take care of that so you don't feel threatened as a corner and you can kind of get to Cooper Kupp faster, I guess.
Yeah, but that's to me, that's on the corner. The corner just has to 100% know the design of that. Yeah, that's the design of the defense, and it's called high school cover 3 for a reason because this is the kind of cover 3 we run in high school. So this is something, maybe a conversation they have during the week, like, hey, they run this route, I'm going to be out here. But he has to know. Like his eyes should never even go. If you rewind it, he goes into a back pedal and then his eyes go to, this looks like a man-to-man.
Yeah.
Like his eyes should stay. So right now he should be opening his hips to how he is. Run it back, please.
Yep.
So 35, his hips are going to open. This is a zone turn. What he does is a man turn. His hips open up to the man. He is zone open the whole way. Like that's how you have to play a cover 3. And once again, he has to. So we had.
And you're saying he's the only one that's not doing it. That's how you can
He's
assume.
not. This is the one guy that's not playing this coverage correctly, I would say.
And it's as easy as that. What if he didn't? We're assuming he got the call. He didn't miss the call. But you get one guy out of 11 a little bit off. We got 75 yards here for Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, and maybe they go back and forth with how they play cover 3. Sometimes they carry it. Sometimes we drop it, which we did that sometimes too. So you got to be able to execute, and everybody got to be on the same page. It is obviously critical. This is this play right here. It's 1st and 10, and this is Ramsey and the defense got to stop. They had to go back out there again. It's the beginning of the 2-minute game-winning drive from Tom Brady and the Bucs. 1st and 10, 44 seconds left on the clock, no timeouts. So right now we're keeping things in front of us, and we're trying to tackle guys inbounds, and we're not giving up big plays. Like that's the thing. That's what your coach should do in this situation because time is your friend. Yeah, they can complete the ball. Just don't let them complete it and get out of bounds. That's what they let them do. I could have just ran, obviously, the 4, 5, 6 plays on just this drive alone because they just let them get the ball all the way downfield. But right here, this is kind of like that. We talked about this coverage too. This is kind of like a trap, and this is tough to do because you don't know exactly how they're coached. But he's playing this like a trap So basically, man, if this tight end runs up and breaks out, I'm going to steal that. But whenever we do that trap, we know what that means for this half-field safety. You have to get more width because you have to be able to get to this number one receiver. And obviously, Scotty Miller is a burner. So
I felt real good about that. I didn't know what you were going to do. We had not gone.
We went over this before. This is week 10.
I know, week 10. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I felt as I was doing the thing, I'm like, oh, shit, I think he's got to get outside.
He's got to get more width. We saw Honey Badger, I think, get a pick on this early in the season in London.
But
London.
London. London. You remember the Queen was there? She died.
Before she croaked.
Hello. Hell of a run.
Oi, pop it.
Wasn't it, AJ, what they did in London?
I'm not doing any more accents.
Oh, that's the only one you got.
You cheeky cunt.
That's a term of
I
endearment.
didn't say that.
No, yeah.
Someone from London. Someone from London did.
Wait, they do more German games. Wait till you hear what we do.
Oh
my gosh.
Leave that off next week, D-But.
D-But, do not have the communication.
Sorry.
Do not come in here.
Do it.
Hawk will be excited.
We know AQ is basically playing the whole game on Tuesday.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 6 DBs out here. We got Dahn personnel.
Because of the Bucs.
Yeah, it's 44 seconds left. So anyway, this is Jalen Ramsey up here. He's the nickel, dime, whichever one. It will be the dime in this because this is the passing strength down here. But this is tight end. Once again, you can't give up these chunk plays. So if you're going to give up a route that doesn't go on about, it can't be a big 25, 30-yard gain. You'll see he does not get enough depth here, in my opinion. This is the route that you want to be pat. You want this check down to be caught, and then you rally and tackle it as zone defender. If Tom Brady throws this ball to 7, we got Bobby Wagner, we got 2, we got 5, all coming and getting him tackled and bound. And the next snap is probably going to be 20-something seconds. But you can't give up this big seam route. Like, this is too easy of a play to give up with 44 seconds left, no timeouts. This ends up being a 28-yard pitch and catch, and it obviously sets up the game-winning touchdown. I think it goes to him as well. I think he catches the game-winning touchdown.
So is this miscommunication? What is it, you think? Jalen's trying to guess on something?
No, I wouldn't say trying to guess. This is them playing the call. But once again, as a pro, you have to take the call, and then you have to know the situation attached with that call. Like, this is no time. Like, this is the one I can't. So you just got to continue just sinking back, just getting depth, forcing Tom to throw this check down in this situation, in my opinion. So, like, it's just – do we have this one from the back copy?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, yeah. So I think if you're a quarterback and you just see the tempo and the pace of his drop, you know Tom knows right now that this seam is going to be open. Just off his drop, because there's no depth, there's nothing out of it. Like,
what is he doing?
So that's that. I mean, you can't have that. You can't do that in this situation. I don't care what your coach should do. As a player, as a pro, you have to know 44 seconds left, 1st and 10. We get a couple tackles and bounce, the game's over.
How about
they need a touchdown, too. It's a 4-point game. So
how about the little hop from Tom, just like so pumped?
Yeah, he
here we go. Yep,
He needed this one.
He did, boy. It's fucking awesome.
Bad. You saw the reaction after the game. It was like he won a fucking playoff game. But it was a big one, and obviously a big win for the team. And the Rams had to go back out there in defense, but you got to be able to get a stop.
What's that all about? Is that Jalen just being so pissed off about the situation potentially?
Maybe.
The game's over.
Yeah, maybe.
Potentially, like legitimately being like, why can't you guys? You got run 3 ISOs or powers or whatever. Give the ball. You take 14 seconds off the clock. Give the ball back. How about you guys just do something? Is that you're talking about humans here?
Yeah. Talking about humans.
You can talk about.
And obviously, he was bothered by having to go back out there. But once again, that's part of it. If you got to go back out there, you got to go back out there. 3 under 3 deep, something we've been talking about a lot this year, 5-man pressure. And also another route we've been talking about since the preseason, I think the first time we saw with the fast kid that was the track star that was in Philly.
From Oregon.
Devin Allen, yep. So this is going to be the same route. So you're going to get an over route, a deep crosser from him, and then, let me get out of the way, and then a post from him. And then one of the best corners in the league right now, Jair Alexander, he might be even communicating what's coming. Like, let me see this. I didn't see this earlier. Well, run it back a little bit.
This Packers secondary struggled with
that. Yeah, so this is he's giving him a little signal right here, right now.
Oh, he's like, hey, they're trying to fuck us. They are trying to.
Or just be alert. When you see this formation, a lot of big bodies in it, this is actually an extra lineman right here that's coming in as an eligible tight end. He's motioning. So right now, this is just a bunch of big bodies, condense everyone inside the numbers. So as a veteran player, you're expecting this type of play. And obviously, he was on all over it from the jump. He showed Goff exactly what he did.
Oh, God. Hey, him flipping his hips, big deal.
Yeah, he's just open. Zone coverage, keeping everything in front of him. So right now, he's almost feeling this receiver, but he's looking across the field, knowing what's coming, and also looking at the quarterback and really just waiting for. Because to him, I don't know how much he sees 23, but he feels like, okay, I got what I need. I got a ton of space. Running back, it's going to be a play action fake. It's going to be a play action fake. So all three underneath defenders respect the play action. So it's going to be a big hole, but he's all over this, as you saw from the pre-snap signal. Like he knew this play was coming the entire time. Him too. Watch how quickly he opens his hip to cover this post route. Like right now, like he already knows. Okay, I know what's coming.
10 yards away.
And he's looking like, I know what's coming. Yeah, so obviously this is what we've been expecting to see from the Packers all year. But great play by Jair here.
Look at him plant his foot.
Yep. Ball's
It's only two-man route. Two-man route with they're all condensed too. Someone's there's a good chance they're crossing.
Great return make this tackle.
So alert shot. So this is that's making the play and knowing what's coming before.
Guess how many points they scored after that?
How many?
None.
Hey, look at how the motion messed up their linebackers. If you run it back, Pat.
Yeah, they're jumping over top of each other.
He jumps over and then he comes back. They're like, oh no, who cares? We're not going to go back. Like if you see this, watch 70. Okay, here we go. Flip.
It's skip.
No.
Yeah, they all took like a step that way and then came back.
Get you out of sorts like before the snap, so you're playing behind.
I'm a big proponent. If I'm an offensive coordinator or play caller, like give me some pre-snap motion, pre-snap shifts.
Mess with the rules. Mess with all the
more
rules.
to think about, right?
Like more mental.
Have a tight end lift his hand up and think about going over and then put it back down. Like shift your tight end motion, because there's difference between shifts and motions. Like there's different rules.
Yeah, so it's tough, and that's another thing that Mike McDaniels in Miami does, and San Fran does a lot. A lot of pre-snap, but he's all over it. And these type of plays that are made, a lot of big plays that are made in the NFL, especially defensively, are made pre-snap. Either DNs have a tell, they know, all right, I'm going to make this move on the tackle, or I set them up early in the game. And as a DB, that's calling it knowing. Formation recognition is what that was.
Right
and then this is another. This is another
3 over, 3 under.
Another formation rec. Jesse Bates, another really good player in this league. They were obviously all over the Panthers this weekend, but it's going to be covered too. First route's going to kind of die down. He's only going to have one vertical threat, and you'll see him get width. And you always talk about tips and overthrows. You got to have them. But watch Jesse Bates. Just watch him run this rep. It's not even much to. This is a cover 2 rep. He's a deep half safety with really one vertical threat over here.
So this is an easy play for him to read. You don't have as much to fucking figure out.
Because you got one. I mean, unless this guy streams, which if this tight end is a burner, he may put some more pressure on it. But this is literally that's his only threat. It's his job. We always talk about it as an underneath flat defender, get depth, play things top down. But he's already breaking, and this is an overthrow. And if he doesn't overthrow it, remember we talked about the linebacker earlier. His job is to make that underneath job. If you're going to throw it over my head, you're going to have to put some type of arrow on it. But if he makes any other throw, I think this corner makes a play on the ball. He overthrows it, but that's a great rep from beginning to end from Jesse Bates.
PJ Walker, you think that was kind of his comeback to earth game, or do you think he just had a tough day?
Sometimes you just have stinkers, man. That was an absolute stinker on both sides of the ball for him. But he had a really rough go at it. Linebacker got a pick this game too. That was a really nice.
Right,
play. It was tough. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
In the NFL, you have a bad game, like at certain positions. You can get exposed quick.
Yeah. Quick.
I mean, this game was over. This is 20-something in the first quarter.
6 minutes in,
Yeah, it was.
Joe Mixon at 3.
And it's like, all right, here we go. This is going to be a tough one. We had the Steelers buzzsaw us one time.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, you have a bad game at a couple different positions and the other team is on it. It's like,
at home,
you can get fucking boat raced real quick. I feel like that happened to P.J. Walker and the Carolina Panthers.
This Bengals team is coming off an ugly performance of their own. So, you come in with an opponent that you feel like you should beat up on, and that's what they did. Jordan Whitehead, this is cover 3 right here. We actually had a play with Jordan Whitehead earlier this season against the Packers.
Really?
Aaron Rodgers under center, play action. Jordan Whitehead bit up on the play action and then got back to the, I think it was a flat route with the moving pocket. So it's going to be the same thing here, but this time Josh Allen throws the ball to him. So you see him run it back. So you can highlight him pre-snap. So this is cover 3 down the red. You usually don't see cover 3 down here in like the 14-yard line, but deep third, 1, 2, 3. These guys are responsible for the deep part of the field, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4 underneath defenders. So he has a run responsibility. He has a run gap, which he comes up, bites, but then once he does that, he's get back into his pass responsibility, and then he expands with the moving pocket. And then Josh Allen
undercut it. He undercut the receiver. I mean, that's just a basic thing that a lot of people might not notice, but you see him. He gets out. He drives. He sees the route. He's like, all right, here we go. Let me slide underneath.
And there's a chip there, right? That's on purpose, obviously, or is that a fake block? Oh, that's a fake block by the tight end.
Yeah, he kind of helps secure that edge a little bit because this is going to be a boot. He's coming out, so boom, he does his job and he gets out. And it also kind of gives him timing, too, because if he goes too fast, he'll already be out here by the time Josh Allen gets out of that fake. So, but Josh Allen has to see that, throw that away. This is the first drive of the game, too. I don't know if y'all remember that Stephon Diggs double move on Sauce. This was that same drive.
After the slip kickoff.
Yep, so you give the big play, and then you end it in the red zone. So this is a big
Why didn't Josh see him, you think? You think 91's too big? Can't see over him?
No, I don't know. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Maybe 91's in his vision, but if a DB is looking at you, and you're throwing a flat, I don't know what Josh was thinking here. But he has the next play. It's probably a worse interception from 17.
Really?
This is the one thing you can look at Josh Allen tape and say, all right, he can be better with taking care of the ball, eliminate these bonehead plays. But it's something I want. Damn, I actually feel bad about doing this or saying this.
Well, it's too late now, D-Bud.
No. We're feeling good.
But for quarterbacks, I feel like the ops right now. For quarterbacks, if you ever see a corner out here, right? With this type of energy, pre-snap, let it rock.
Whoa.
Pause it.
State season.
He ain't in man coverage. All right, look. He ain't in man coverage. You doing all this and that. Look, he's going to be most likely in cover 2. All right, so whatever the safety's
very
doing,
confident, very relaxed.
It's not even that. He's a confident player. He's all that. But in man coverage, you kind of locked in. It's like a one-on-one fight. All right, I need to split. I need this. What am I getting released? What's going to be the concept? But if I have a flat route, and some young corners especially, I'm not saying this about Sauce, but just corners in general, when you have cover 2, some guys you'll think about it as kind of a down off. It's kind of like all right, shit.
Breather.
All right, let me get out here. But if you see your cat out there doing that, that's a telltale sign. That lets me further know. So when I was watching this game, I already knew, all right, he's not going to be a man. What are they running? But he rolls up. There is some disguise here, guys moving around. But as the snap goes, it's going to be split safety. It's going to be cover 2. And this is 2nd and 17, 2nd and long.
2nd and 17. It feels like there's a lot of dudes up here on the 2nd and 17. That's just Salah?
2nd and long. Yeah, you're showing pressure just to maybe create some type of confusion to help your 4-man rush, but it's going to end up being a 4-man rush. Everybody's going to get out. And as that underneath defender, once again, you just got to continue sinking. You see this cover 2 corner continue to sink. And Josh Allen, once again, I don't know if he doesn't see him. Gabe Davis takes an outside release and then runs an out-breaking route. I don't see that much, especially against cover 2. Usually that's converted into a fade. But once again, Josh Allen throws the ball right to Sauce. And now you got the ball in the offense. Zach Wilson in the offense is going to line up at the 19, 20-yard line. And what point in the game was this? This was third quarter. 5.5 left in the game. So another huge turnover. Obviously, Josh Allen, he makes plays that only Josh Allen can make, with his legs, with his arms sometimes. But these are the plays, obviously, that he has to eliminate. But great job from Sauce.
He thought Gabe was going in, right?
I mean, D-But, is that one of those they talked about choice routes they have? Is this something Gabe decided to break it out because he felt Sauce inside? Normally, he'd be outside leverage in cover 2.
Yeah, I honestly, this is a head scratcher to me because you don't usually, if you got a rolled up corner, these receivers just convert these to fades. You know what I mean? And if they do run a 7 route, then they it's almost like a must inside release.
You're saying this way as opposed to
just
this
a straight fade. You hear it a lot. The hole shot, the honey hole shot. But to run a 7 route here with a flat defender right underneath you, that's something that offense does. I'm not sure. But regardless of what route he was running, you can't throw.
That's not on you. That's not Sauce doesn't care
at all. He's doing his job. It's 2nd and long. I'm getting a reroute. I'm getting depth. And I got vision on the quarterback as an underneath flat defender. So, but quarterbacks obviously got to see him. It's second and 17. So right now he alerts. He's making whatever protection calls because you do have a double mug look. So maybe they just completely fooled him on the coverage, but he looks at him literally from the snap and still throws this ball. So I mean, this is a head scratcher here. But Sauce does his job.
You said Josh, though, is known to give a couple away. I didn't know that he is.
Josh,
he will take some shots.
Even the Packers game. That's why they covered, really.
Yeah.
Because that game should have been a blowout, I think. But it was some plays like, just throwing it back across. Because when you are that talented, same thing with Luck. Luck would do the same thing. When you are that talented, you can make those type of throws. You're going to give some away. And but these if a corner makes a great play, safety makes a great play, that's one thing. But these type of picks, obviously you got to eliminate those.
And this can't,
And the referee's not on your team.
You got to be a fucking athlete. Bang. You got to be an athlete.
Dude, look at the cell, though. Good bump. Good bump. That's a flatback. Yeah. That's a full flatback.
Looking at him right there like, fuck.
Curtis Samuel on his fantasy.
I will say, whenever you, if you're going to fall on your back, that is how you get as wide as possible to eat up as much as the collision with the ground as you possibly can. Good bump from
the energy.
Yeah, that's why
tuck that chin too.
Boom, big. Yeah, tuck your chin too. You don't want to get the old. Did you see Humphrey? We talked about this yesterday. Yeah, Marlon Humphrey against Olave on Monday night, 1-on-1 in the corner or whatever. Marlon bats it away. Good play.
Yeah.
He falls in end zone. His head.
Bomb.
Off.
Like he hopped right up, though.
Yeah. Flexed. Did the whole thing.
Impressive.
Led to us to a full conversation of like, I've seen somebody do that and be
out of there,
locked up.
Yeah.
And then he's able to do it. It's like, is that the next step of the whole concussion thing? Like trying to figure out literally who's in the most.
And that was turf too, right?
Yeah. Right up.
Yeah, hey, some people got those AJ Hawk noggins. I would have probably been up out of there. But that was a good play by him, too. Good play on the fade, got his eyes back. Marlon Humphrey had a hell of a game. Had a sack.
Dog.
Good play. But that's this week's Everything DB. Be a fucking athlete.
Hey, we appreciate you.
Appreciate you, fellas.
Well, great work on Everything DB. Also, the Man to Man podcast every Monday and Thursday. Tomorrow's episode will be live from the FanDuel Thunderdome alongside Antoine Bethea, another absolute superstar, defensive secondary player who I got to be teammates with, who is a legend.
I got to ask him about that 62-7 game, too. Was he out there or was he hurt?
I assume he wasn't playing at that stage of that.
I'm going to ask him.
That year was a tough year. That was a tough year. I'm telling you, look here.
Seems pretty easy.
He got everybody like that, though.
Everybody. That scene. Yeah.
Patriots, my rookie year, maybe. We went down there to the Super, and they had Devery Henderson, Mitchell.
Well, what were you fucking doing out there then, D-Butt? Why were they
falling for the? I mean, it was just a well-oiled machine.
We were running to Tampa 2 at the time. So I guess that is, that is the beater of it all, but seemed to be pretty simple though. Drew Brees. I don't want to minimize what Drew Brees accomplished on that night because I think he helped break a lot of records for himself that evening. But it did appear as if he had any protection at all, and then
who was the middle linebacker? Not getting enough depth.
Yeah, because I think you got to you got to turn and sprint, right? You're covering that.
It's the hook droppers that they got to get. They have to like reroute by positioning or reroute at 5 and then sink and then roll back inside.
Jimmy Graham was unstoppable there.
Well, yeah,
big target.
Came from Peyton. I mean, Peyton gave Brady that seam route that they did with Gronk.
Oh, the pull of the guard.
Yeah.
Pull the guard. It's play action, pull the guard. Linebackers have to come because it looks like a run. Seam to the tight end. Yeah. Gronk scored 100 touchdowns because Peyton Manning told Tom Brady what they do with Dallas Clark.
Yeah. Bingo.
Did Peyton Manning create the RPO?
Whoa. Ooh. Nah. Let's give him credit, yeah. Hell yeah. As an Indianapolis Colt, the Indianapolis Colts, have given to football as much as they possibly could. You're welcome for the RPO.
Yeah, but if Peyton invented the RPO, he would have won more than one Super Bowl.
Well, the thing about it was he couldn't do the part that really was needed.
Sure.
And that was the...
no one really respecting his...
The run part.
Exactly.
That was just the elementary level. That was the beginning level of it. Nonetheless, thank you so much, DB. Thank you, AJ. Thank you to the Toxic Table. Hammer, Dahn will be in...
13 minutes.
13 minutes at 3:55 Eastern Standard Time. Everybody in the back, great work. Michael Rubin, thank you for your time. Dan Orlovsky, thank you for the time. To my incredible wife, I can't wait to come see you. I'm happy we got to announce that we are pregnant. And I'm scared to death to be a parent, but my wife is going to be an incredible mom, so that's all that matters. I appreciate you all so much. We'll see you tomorrow. We got football to talk about.
Hell yeah.
Falcons, Panthers, and an NFC South rivalry that is going to get the juices flowing.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you in about 20 hours. Thank you so much, AJ. You're the best. Cheers, everybody.